Should have started.
Yo.
Should have started.
Hey, did you get that? Did you get
Yeah.
Hey,
Should have
yep,
started.
hey, I'm leaving that in the video, bro.
Yeah.
I'm leaving that in. Well, I know I need to send you. Hey, where's my camera? Hey, Pete, yep. Hey, Pete. As soon as we said that, he said, put me on game. That is-
Oh, you can't figure out how to. Hey, well, it's your co-host with the mostest. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. We having some little technical difficulties, but it's all right. Welcome to Gumball Sports Machine. This is the special draft, NBA draft 2025 episode. Where we're gonna, some draft class chat, maybe some trades, some entertainment stuff, man. NBA season is over, but it's still going on.
That was awkward, wasn't it? That was now that we've got that, figured out. Couple things. Yes. Yeah, welcome to the show. Our NBA draft live show. Where we are reacting to the NBA draft live as it happens. How about that? Yeah, I had to play the old intro because for whatever reason I'm not able to load in the current intro that we have. So technology, as he just so well.
I'm here.
as he so well introduced himself. I'm not on my own. I am with my OG, my dog Tone, as well as a key contributor to the group, an expert who specializes in basketball and football and is learning about so many other sports as we go along. We have Kyson, Killer Kyson, magnificent.
What it do, man? What it do?
His interview.
Hey, we got to talk about obviously NBA draft night, but we got to talk about that Canelo and that Crawford fight coming up, man.
Oh, you know what? That's a great point. That's a fantastic point, actually.
That's a good fight that might come up, man.
I think, you know what? We can absolutely get into that.
Tone, what it do, man?
What's happening, Kyson? What's going on, my guy?
But, gentlemen.
Not much. Hey, I'm just kicking it. Just kicking it today. Hey, no draft choice for the Rockets, so we just kicking it.
Oh, yeah.
Watching the show.
The pick is in for the Dallas Mavericks, and by no surprise, that number 1 overall pick is Cooper Flagg. So that is how we're kicking off this show. Breaking news. The number 1 overall pick was Cooper Flagg. I know we're all shocked by this. I know we're all shocked. Oh, hold on. The draft day is a very special day for me. Okay? It's when the king, it's when our prince, it's when Arizona's captain was born. And so I decided that I wanted to represent him today and show him off to the world. So
I like how Kyson is paying you little to no attention right now. It's
okay.
Sorry, I was daddy duties. Had to make sure the lab was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, there you go. Tone. See, there you go. Yeah, he's being a dad. He wasn't not paying attention to me. Anyways. Yeah, I'm representing the king, the Arizona captain today for draft day. It's a very special day.
Yeah, shout out to New England. You know what I'm saying, kid. going number one, man.
Who's going number? Oh yeah, Cooper. Oh, see, there you go. You didn't even acknowledge him. You're wearing a Red Sox hat, and
Yeah,
it's NBA draft.
this is also in New England.
It
So
is.
so who do y'all see in Cooper Flag, and like what do y'all see him like? Do y'all see him being a superstar?
I think, and I. So the thing about Cooper Flag is, I forget who I was talking. I think it was maybe D'Lo. I think his peak is Kawhi Leonard. I think he could be Kawhi Leonard S player. Even Kawhi Leonard period, not S, but Kawhi Leonard, because of how good he is defensively and how good he can score the basketball, the two way. And so, well, speaking of D'Lo, yeah, he's well, yeah, he
Yeah, man, this
acknowledged
dude's
that
delusional, man.
he acknowledged that Cooper and yeah, that but he also said that he should have been Heat. I don't think so. I don't think
Yeah,
that
no,
should
I
have
don't
been the
think so
case.
either.
No, right?
No.
Okay, so it's not just me. So D'Lo, you and your Heat can go off
Heat.
and cry somewhere. I think that's what you
Cooper
can do.
Flag should have went to the Heat. Oh no.
Oh no,
Oh
no, no, no,
no.
no.
Not at
But
all. Not at
I
all.
think Cooper Flag. I think Cooper Flag is definitely a generational player, though, for sure. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what he's able to do with Anthony Davis while Kyrie is recovering, obviously, from his ACL injury. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see what he's able to do with Anthony Davis. Tone, what do you what do you see from Cooper Flag to where it's like why he was the obvious number one pick, right? Obviously, I was make we were making jokes. Oh my God, he went number one. That was we weren't expecting that. Obviously, we knew since he stepped onto a college basketball floor that he was going to go number one overall in the draft. Why? Why is he that special?
I think his skill set is unique for his size. He's got the NBA body. Almost reminds you of a Paulo Banchero. Um, I think a lot of scouts or NBA organizations see him as like a Karolinko type, 3 and D, and 6'10" is just it's hard to replicate, man. He's really mobile. He's got little handles. He's got the midi. He's got the three, and he'll dunk on you. He'll catch your body. So I think a season into the NBA is going to change him a little bit. He'll be a lot smarter on the court. He actually can facilitate a little bit. Being with Kyrie, being with AD, he's going to learn some things. And like you said, I think he's got the potential to be a star in the NBA, which is scary alongside Kyrie and Anthony Davis.
Cousin, what is it? What is it about Cooper Flag that made him the obvious number one overall choice, especially this year in the draft? Obviously, it's not LeBron or Wemby or anything like that, but Cooper Flag is a generational talent, and I believe at least why what makes him a generational talent.
Yeah, I think there's levels of generational talents, obviously. You got your LeBrons, you got your anomalies. Then there's like a tier lower than that. And I think he's in that tier with the Anthony Davises, the Zions, back when he was, in college. I think he's in that tier of tier two of generational talents, which is, a great thing to be in. He just has intangibles. I think he has things that you can't teach, and he's ready. I think that's what a lot of teams have been looking for, especially with these drafts getting older and older. We had a lot more one and dones way back in the 2010s than what we do now. So to have Cooper Flag, an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, who's head and shoulders above his competition, and he's younger and he's ready. You can plug him in on basically any team, and he makes that team better. I think that's just something that's lost art and very valuable in today's game. And I think he can be Kawhi-ish, Scottie Pippen-ish type of player. I don't see him being a number one option guy offensively. Um, in the first few years of his career, I can definitely see him being a great defender, and a great number two, maybe number three option. Well, it would definitely be number three next to AD and Kyrie. But maybe when AD moves on or when Kyrie moves on from the Mavs, he'll step up to that. Um, number two option offensively because I think his specialty is defense. I think defensively he can be a star. But I think the sky's the limit. If you ask me, I think the sky's the limit for him. He works hard, and like I said, he just has things that you really can't teach.
Um, real quick, San Antonio Spurs had the second overall pick. They just made their selection, and again, by very little to no surprise, Dylan Harper, the point guard out of Rutgers, was the second overall pick, and that leads us to bringing in our next member of our draft show team. We like to call him the brains of the group around here, although the brains isn't always on time. And that was the case again today. Kev, look at
What's good?
oh, how you doing, man? You look excited.
I felt like I just lost 5 pounds right now.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Well,
Whoa.
I said you were late. I didn't expect you to say why you were late.
Details.
Okay, well, I guess honesty is indeed the best policy.
That's on me.
Kev, Cooper Flag was drafted number 1. What we were talking about him potentially being generational talent, and what makes him the obvious number 1 overall pick. What do you see in Cooper Flag that really makes him that guy? Made him that guy's going number 1, no question.
I mean, if you look at how much hype he had going like since high school, he's had a lot of hype, a lot of exposure to the media. Almost kind of like a Zion Williamson. Also went to Duke as well. And a lot of people have said this is probably the most hyped, most anticipated prospect forward since LeBron James. And I could see it. He's a very good two-way player. He could be a two-way superstar up and coming next 2 or 3 years maybe. He was the consensus number 1 pick. There was no other way or no other player that could have went number 1. So yeah, there's no. He was the undisputed number 1 pick in my opinion.
Do you see the Mavericks making a run at the West with him, or even though Kyrie is out and recovering from his ACL?
The question I have is, are they going to play Cooper at the 3 or is he going to the 4?
Either way.
Because if he's at the 3, then that 3, 4, 5 position with him, AD, and say Daniel Gafford or Lively, that's a very good defensive front court and the 3. So that's a very good defensive team putting alongside with Kyrie. So I think that team is a playoff team, no doubt. Maybe 4 or 5-ish area. I don't think they're contending against OKC and now Houston Rockets and possibly still Minnesota.
Cool. No, number 3, Philadelphia is on the clock right now. Obviously, there are a few picks that could be at this spot. Nothing's really been guaranteed after 1 and 2. We know the guys who could be drafted here. While we got a few minutes, Tone. We have another special guest.
We do.
We
Okay,
do.
hold on. Bring it.
He's new. We haven't seen him before. I know he's your homeboy.
Oh, do us one solid. Turn your phone to the side.
The side.
There you go. There you go, newbie. There you go, newbie.
Good evening, gentlemen.
What's going on, my
What
guy?
it do, man? What it do?
I don't know.
A little bit too, so we can see your whole face, man. So your fans know you here. There you go. Let's just sit back. You know what I'm saying? Relax.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah. So just anticipating how this draft is gonna go. That's all.
I like the shirt. I like the shirt you got on. You let the people know who you are, man. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Roxbury bred, Boston, Mass. Just a sports guru, if you would call it. What I call myself. So
Right.
I've been anticipating to come on with you guys. So let's see what this has to offer.
He got a couple more grades than I do, so I appreciate having him on. He's got a little bit more knowledge and wisdom on these type of topics. And yeah, I'm guessing once we do these, these generational conversations, he's likely going to be on my side of some of those.
Hey, Roxbury, first of all, appreciate you for coming on, man. Definitely glad to have you, especially for the draft show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
We're just talking about Cooper Flag. He went number 1 overall for a good reason, and we were talking about how it was no question Cooper Flag was going to go to number 1 to whoever team got lucky enough to be able to draft him. Why do you think that was the case with Cooper Flag?
I think the case with Cooper Flag is the hype that he got built around. And he's a great talent. But where do we play him at? Do we play him at the 3 or the 4? Is he fast enough to stay with the 3s, or is he physical enough to play with the 4s? I don't know. I just don't know yet. It's too early to see that he's that best prodigy since LeBron, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be curious to see how him and AD play alongside each other. Especially them being two very, very good two-way players, at least from Cooper Flag. That's what we saw in college. The pick is in for Philly, so we will disclose that pick once it is announced. They're showing a few guys, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, the guard from Baylor.
He doesn't want to get drafted by the top teams after 1 and 2.
So he wants to go to the Wizards, the Nets, or the Pelicans?
Yeah, he wants to go like around 5, 6, 7.
You know what? That's a good conversation. That's a good conversation. And, Tone and Roxbury, I'm kind of glad that you guys are going to be a part of this conversation, because this new NIL thing has kind of allowed the collegiate athletes to almost have not an advantage, but like over almost control of where they want to go. And and Tone, I'll ask you first in terms of things like this. Do you think this is good for basketball, like having Ace Bailey kind of almost control where he wants to go? I mean, it's never really been like this before the NIL. Actually, real quick, before you answer that, the 76ers pick is in, and there Adam Silver is at the podium now. I would play the audio, but I don't want to get copyright, so and the 76ers take VJ Edgecombe, the guard from Baylor. Which it's interesting. They got a lot of guards over there in Philly. They got Maxey and McCain and already, so it's gonna be interesting to see how he fits in over there.
I kind of feel the same way about Harper going to the Spurs.
Harper's the same thing. I think, but though Philly's a little bit different.
Yeah, Fox, what you gonna do with him?
I think Philly's a little bit different because I think maybe they took the best available or who they like the most. With San Antonio, I think it was also the same thing. I think there was no way you pass up on a guy like that, like Dylan Harper, just because of what he's been able to do and what he's done at the collegiate level, of course. But Tone, when you look at the NIL and you look at guys like Ace Bailey, who is declining workouts because he doesn't want to go to said team or whatever the case may be, do you think this is good for not only basketball but really professional sports, as it's kind of the NIL's taken over?
I'm probably going to give the answer that no one wants to hear, is that I really don't have any personal opinions about it. It's just what's happening, and you kind of have to adapt. I think that college players are actually working, so they should be getting paid. I mean, you go overseas, you go to other countries, they're getting paid. Even in some other sports in America, you can play professionally at such a young age that it makes sense. And for sports like football and basketball, you can't do it. Again, these kids they're that talented, and they're playing essentially professional sports. Why are they not getting paid? The colleges are making a lot of money. Why are the players not getting paid? I don't know if it's actually going to transition to a positive outcome for just the players and organizations relationship. Because again, you're giving the players so much power and control to tell an organization who's paying them, "No, I don't want to be here." But this isn't the first time we've seen it. Kobe Bryant did something similar, just the money wasn't involved. But Kobe told the Hornets, if y'all keep me, I won't play here. And that's how he ended up on the Lakers. And I think we know about the Mannings. The Mannings did this with
Eli.
With Eli back in the day. So again, this isn't the first time that we've heard or seen something like this. Um, I think it'll be on the players to make this as smooth of a sale that it can be. But again, I don't really don't care either way. I think I do support the players on getting paid, and I don't care how people feel emotionally. You're going to work, you're supposed to perform, and your business is supposed to pay you.
Roxbury, what do you think, man? With the NIL, you saw Caleb Williams threaten to not enter the draft last year. You saw, we've seen the Eli Mannings, and then obviously now we're seeing Ace Bailey in the NBA do it. Do you kind of are you on the side of the players in terms of like giving them more power, kind of like Tone said?
No, not at all. I disagree with that remark. With the whole NIL is I feel like the players now feel more entitled. You have you have kids coming from young men coming from college that's making more money in college than what they do for their first actual contract. So you have them going back and forth with agents, with teams, and I don't know. You can't. It's all politics. Everything is politics. Like for example, with Ace Bailey, I think Ace Bailey's stock is going to plummet because of him trying to create his own path, and he hasn't even established anything. Nothing at all. I have a son that plays football, and we don't have the opportunity for NIL. Why not just play and get rewarded for all your hard work at the end of the day? I think that would be so much better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I agree. I do think the players should get paid. I just don't think you need $5 million at the age of 18. I think if you give them a couple 100,000 to make sure that they're living, they don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. I think that would be beneficial enough. But I think some of these kids have definitely gotten a little bit too much power. Kyson, what do you think, man? You see Ace Bailey declining workouts, declining all this stuff, and because he wants to control where he wants to go in the NBA draft. Do you think this is good for professional sports, or do you think it's going in the wrong direction?
Well, I mean, this is something that's been going on for a long time to what Tone and Roxbury's been saying. It's a players' league, and these agents are coming at these young guys just like they're NBA players. Like they're coming at them like this is what NBA players are doing. They're demanding this and they want that. And the thing about it is that these kids, one thing about it is that these kids are not struggling like how they were. Like one thing about LeBron was dirt poor before he came to the league. A lot of these kids back in the day, they were struggling, and when they finally got a bag, they had to, buy moms a crib, buy everybody, stuff and make sure they was caught up and then they was able to take care of themselves. Nowadays, these kids are already straight. They already got
Mhm.
$1 million from social media, $1 million from NIL and things of that nature. So these agents, they realize that. So they realize that these kids aren't as hungry, but they have more leverage than the kids before them had. So is it bad for sports? Maybe. I really don't know. I really don't have the answer for that. But what I do know is that this is something that's been going on, and I don't see it ending real anytime soon. Because one thing I do see happening is Ace Bailey getting his way. The Wizards will love
Yeah.
him. The Pelicans will love him. The Hornets will love him. Or the out of the teams that named him, the teams that he named that he wanted to go, they will all love him. So he's going to get his way, and hopefully he can back up the talk. Hopefully he can show us that
Yeah,
he's worth all this commotion that he's caused.
yeah,
Um, Kev, when you look at it, these players have gotten a lot of power. They've gotten a lot of power. I mean, if Cooper Flag really didn't want to go to Dallas or whatever team got the first overall pick, he could have easily went back to college and still would have made very, very much money, or a lot of much money, or a lot of money. Jesus Christmas. Do you think this is positive for sports, man? Do you think that these young guys coming into the league having as much power as they do you think this is good for the league?
I'm kind of like in between, because I'm all for young athletes getting paid for what they're doing because they're basically playing professional ball.
Uh-oh. Oh, we still
Couldn't hear
connected?
you. I'm gonna have to repeat that, Kev.
Yeah, go
Am I
ahead.
good?
Yeah, go one more time, Kev. I think okay, now you connected again. Kev, you can hear us?
Am I good now?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
there
can
you
hear
go.
you guys.
Mhm.
All right, so where did I
Just start
where did I
over.
stop at?
Just start over.
All right, all right. So yeah, I just think I'm kind of between it. Only because I'm all for the athletes getting paid. But it's also they're letting that money get into their heads. Because, for example, you look at Shore Sanders, he was getting paid a lot in college off the deals that he was getting. And then now in the NFL, he's not even getting paid as much, all because he had a bit of ego. He wanted to kind of like decide his own fate, his own destiny, and he fell to the fifth round. So that's why I'm kind of between it because I'm all for them getting paid, but at the same time, they also have to understand that they're not in a position to decide where they want to go. It's up to the owners and to the GMs to pick them, and they just have to go along with it. They can't just decide where they want to go.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned throughout. I think the players absolutely deserve to get paid. Actually, real quick, Charlotte Hornets had the fourth overall pick. Excuse me. They went out and took Con Kneppel. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. The wing out of Duke. That is a position that they needed. Kaisi, you don't like that pick?
Yeah, I don't know what the Hornets. I don't know what they got going on, man.
I feel like they definitely needed. They definitely. I mean, they need place. They need
They need a
everything.
lot.
They need
They need a
everything.
lot.
I
But
used to blame Jordan. Now I just think it's the Hornets.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just
That
the Hornets
They
too.
could have put Ace Bailey and Brian Miller together, but I guess they wanted to avoid Ace Bailey.
Yeah, Con Kneppel's a 3-and-D player. He made some humongous 3-point shots in the tournament this year. And he was good, man. He's a 3-and-D guy. He could get to the basket. He's one of those guys that is gonna, he's gonna be the first to the floor. He's gonna be first to the floor. So I think he's gonna be. It's an interesting pick. He's one of those guys that you're gonna need to, in order to win anything. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with them or what they do with him. But in terms of the NIL stuff, I think it's a lot of power for these kids at such a young age. I just, in terms of like the money making and the power, and you shouldn't be able to declare where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? Like you should, like in the draft. It's a draft for a reason, and these teams are drafting you because they want you, and they feel like you're going to be a good piece of their organization. So I think the power that some of these kids have is really, really too much. But I am happy that they're getting paid at the end of the day.
I want to add this though, is some of these organizations don't deserve as much talent. Like we're speaking to it right now, like the Charlotte Hornets.
Mhm.
They haven't had success when they've drafted such talent. Like Lonzo is probably the best player that they've had, and he can't win. And so to me,
LaMelo.
yeah, sorry, LaMelo.
Yeah.
I understand what you guys are saying, like the players shouldn't have this much power, but I feel like there are certain players who should be able to demand because they've created so much value that they deserve to be appreciated. And what happens is we as fans, then we talk about them and drag them through the mud when they go to a Wizards and they don't meet our standards. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that is it. The standard is always built up through college, but the NBA is a whole different dynamic. And you go to the Wizards, you go to Charlotte, you go to, I mean, yeah, you just go to some of these teams that are not going to utilize you in the right way. And now we're dragging you through the mud. Now you're 4 or 5 years into your career with no success, and your legacy is different.
Yeah, it's sorry. Go ahead, Roxbury.
Yeah, I just want to add on to what Tone said. So how do certain players get that interpretation that they can? How do you know if a player is that generational talent or that can warrant, to tell a franchise that they deserve whatever they want? How do you determine that?
It's like it's essentially betting on yourself. Like like us going to fill out a job application and they tell you, hey, we're gonna offer you $12,000, and you're like, all right, yeah, I'll see y'all on the other end, and you go to the next job and you tell them, oh, I want 25, and they go, well, we can't offer you that, and you go, all right, I'll see you later, and then you apply to another one, and then online they answer, we can only give you so much, like. I'm not even coming to the interview if you're gonna, you know what I'm saying? And again, there's always behind the scenes information that's shared. Like they, Philadelphia, when I look at their talent on paper, if they pick up Ace Bailey, he's getting 12 shots a game.
Yeah.
Knowing him and the type of caliber player he wants to be, he's like, I'm not going there to. I don't want to be Paul George's backup. I don't want to know whether I'm getting 12 shots or 24 because Embiid is in or out of the lineup. You kind of have to have that reputation, whether it be followers on social media, whether you be a highlight film in college. Like you have to have built that reputation in order to be able to conduct yourself in that manner. And Ace Bailey feels as though he has, which I think he has, or else there wouldn't be this much of an uproar. If this was the the expected 14th pick, no one would care. No one would care. But it's Ace Bailey, who we thought was a top 5 prospect. And so now it's on every news station. It's up on our social media feeds. It's on every basketball, Twitter, Instagram, and we're seeing it. And it's because he's Ace Bailey.
But see, the worst case that happens for him though is that let's say the three teams he listed, they were 6, 7, and 8, if I'm not mistaken. They all pass him up, and he slides to the end of the round, and now he's going to a really good team. Now he's not. Now he's not playing at all,
Mhm.
or now he's getting 8 shots again. Now he's another Dalton Connect.
That's a
He's another
fantastic point.
Reed Shepard. You know,
Yeah.
so I think there's two sides of it. I don't agree with how he's doing it, but he's doing it. And when you do it like how you're doing it, you got to stand on your 10 toes and hope for the best. So like, I agree with Tone. I just think it's bet on yourself. Um, but I think with guys like the, I think him and Cooper are the two prospects where you can say, all right, yeah, they'll be fine. Like just give them if they have everything lined up how they should be lined up, then they'll be fine. Everyone else they might need a little bit extra development, a little bit more of tender love and care. But these two guys, they're ready. So ACs or if they see Cooper as the number one guy undisputedly, then why not control my narrative and control my destiny? Or at least uh try to as much as I can.
Speaking of which, Ace Bailey taking number 5
Wow,
overall
that's
to the Utah Jazz.
crazy.
Um,
Sheesh.
so that's going to be an interesting fit, and that's also going to be a place where he's going to be able to get some shots up. Now,
That's not where he
um,
wanted to go, though.
no,
Not
and
at
to that
all.
point though, I wanted to point out,
That's crazy.
Ace Bailey, he's declining all these workouts. He's declining, from the top teams. They're not even like, if you're declining, a team that's in the 10th, 11th, 12th, you're not going to make it that far. So why would you work out for them? But Philly had the number 3 overall pick. So that's one thing I don't understand. And two, why would you? Okay, here's the thing. Some people, I'll use money in instance. I use money in this instance. Obviously, when you go to the NBA, you're going to make a whole lot more money than even with the NIL. You're going to make a whole lot more money, especially if you're good. And the thing with money is, money don't change people. It only makes you more of what you already are. And so, how do you know that? Okay, so I don't want to go to Philly, so I'm not going to go work out for Philly. How do you know that if he gets upset in Utah, now that he's got drafted by Utah, if he gets upset in Utah, why is this, what makes you think he's not going to go? I'm not happy here. I don't want to be here. Well, again, whether they're winning or whatever the case is, I just and as a Jazz franchise, is in the back of my mind, are you not thinking like, okay, well, what if he didn't want to play he didn't want to work out and do these other things for these other teams? What if we do something he doesn't like, and then he starts acting a fool and doing all this other stuff? That's the thing that worries me.
Is it more the pre-notion that is it more about your talent or is it more about fit when you get drafted by a particular franchise? Because if he's unhappy there, how long do you wait to move him on? Do you give him 3, 4 years, let him play out his rookie contract, and let him be unhappy, or you just move away from him totally and go in another direction? How do you decipher that?
And
Well, look
I
at
think, but I think,
Zion.
I, I sorry, go. What'd you say, Kaiser?
Zion's in. I said, look at Zion's in year 6, year 7 with New Orleans.
And
I mean,
and
granted, he's barely played, but he's still there.
he is still there. And I think when you look to build the championship team, obviously in the draft, that's where you want to. If you're not already at the championship level, that's where you want to start in the draft. And when you go in the draft and you look at these guys, you look at them. Okay, where do we start? Culture. That's where I believe you start a championship winning team by building a championship winning culture. Ace Bailey, when he didn't want to, like, when he's doing all these other antics, is that the culture you want to bring into the locker room? When you bring in the Lauri Markkanens, I mean, when you already have the Lauri Markkanens, the Keontae George, who's going into his second year, all these other young guys that, like, oh, this is this the guy that was saying he didn't want to work out for these other teams? I mean, is not like for the other players in the locker room. Do they not think, oh, this guy, is going to get special treatment, and he's a rookie? He's a rookie. These other guys have been playing for such and such years. Is that the culture you want to bring into the locker room? And this picky choosy. I want to play for this team, but if this team drafts me, I'm not going to be. That's I don't know if that's the lock. I don't know if that's the culture you want to start. By with a championship team. That's what worries me a little bit. So I think that's an interesting conversation. But let's get to some of these other draft picks. Obviously, we'll get to my team here in a few minutes. But Roxbury, man, I'm assuming you're on the bean train.
Yes, sir. Of course.
So they have the 23rd overall pick, I believe. No,
28, right?
28th. They had the 28th overall pick.
They have 28.
What position do you think you need to improve upon? And are there any guys that you are looking that could possibly be available when that 28th pick comes around?
Well, as of presently right now, I'm looking for like a person that can, like, maybe a year or two bridge gap, because we don't know the way of how the franchise is going. There's a lot of talk with Jaylen Brown and Derek White, so we don't know which way that's going to go. So maybe I like Clayton Jr. out of Florida. You could play him at the 1 or the 2. And he's a combo guard. He could create his own shot, and he had a good jumper. So I like Clayton Jr. But I just don't know. Anything's possible right now. It just the Celtics is just in a whole state of flux right now. So we'll just see how it goes.
Tone, the other Beantown member. Who are you looking at in this first round at number 28 that could be available, and you could look to draft at number 28?
Honestly, I've been looking to who the Celtics have been whispering about, and that is Kasparas Jakunis, I believe his name is. He
From
is
Illinois.
6'7" point guard, 1-2ish.
Mm-hmm.
He's an exceptional talent. He's one of those players that looks to be NBA ready. Of course, it's always different once they're actually playing, but he's an exceptional facilitator. He's got the 3. He actually looks like he's got some point guards can pass the ball. Some of them, I call it the Coleco. That's when you got the vision. Like, you see things before it's happening, and he looks like he has the Coleco. And yeah, if we could replace, I'm not even sure what we're gonna do with like Roxbury's right. We're in a state of flux. It's hard to tell what we're actually doing. The Kristaps trade is what really threw me off. I appreciated the Drew for Anthony. I think that made us a little younger, a little fresher for when JT comes back. But then with letting Kristaps go for Gorgie Jang, I don't know what direction we're moving it for the bigs. I'm not gonna say like Homeboy he's a pretty good talent, but when you're looking to replace Kristaps Porzingis, who actually won a pretty big game in the NBA Finals for us last year, I just don't think Gorgie is one of those type of players.
He can shoot though.
Yeah, he can shoot. He can space the floor. He's tough. He's tough. He likes to be a headache and harass whoever he's defending. Again, he's an exceptional basketball player.
It's not a
Porzingis
starter
is
though.
a unicorn, and it's hard to replace a unicorn. But yeah, I think I personally, if we're not going to get that kid from Illinois, I think we need some type of 3-and-D big. I wasn't able to find one that I thought was sufficient enough, especially at the 28th pick. So I'm interested to see who we pick up.
Now we will get to the Rockets and the Cavs in a little bit. They do not have a first round pick. Both of those teams, and obviously Rockets being Kyson's team, and the Cavaliers being Kevin's team. But the Wizards pick at number 6 is in, and they selected Trey Johnson, the guard out of Texas. So that's obviously something they now need after trading Jordan Poole, in which we will get into here in a little bit. But in terms of the Phoenix Suns, who have the 10 pick, whose pick is up here in a few minutes, the biggest needs I believe that we have now, we have 2 first round picks. We have one at 10 and we have one at 29. The one at 10, I've really done some digging and did some thinking about who I think would be the best fit. Correct
me if I'm wrong. The guy who you originally wanted is already off of the table, isn't he?
Who's that? Ace Bailey?
No, he went before Ace.
Edgecombe.
Edgecombe. I didn't think he was gonna make it to 10 though. I mean, yeah, that was the only thing. I thought there was.
You know who I think Phoenix should select with the 10th pick.
There's a few guys. I'm
thinking, I don't know how to pronounce his name. The big from Duke.
Colin Malawach. That's another guy. Come on, Malawach. I think that's another guy. He may not be there at 10. New Orleans, or I guess he could be there at 10. New Orleans has New Orleans need a big. I'm thinking of Memphis. New Orleans needs a big.
New Orleans already has Missy though.
New Orleans got what's the Messi or something right there, right?
But this guy is a difference maker, especially on the defensive end. I mean, maybe you go out and get a guard, but if you're New Orleans, first of all, the position I think we need, is a big. I think we absolutely need a big. Now, I would love for the Suns to draft a big at 10, whether it's Malawach or I like Colin Murray-Boyles, who's been mocked to the Suns a few times. I think he's very good defensively. He's physical. He is NBA ready, especially physically. If you just look, he's chiseled. Like, he's a big dude. So Colin Murray-Boyles is another one out of South Carolina, I believe he's from. South Carolina. Danny Wolf, who I think is very interesting, just because he is a big, but he can handle the ball. He is almost a skinny, athletic version of Jokic. Now, obviously, that Jokic is a very high standard, but what I've been able to see at Michigan and the way that he performed last year, he can handle the ball. He can shoot the three. He can pass the ball. And he's a big body. He's 6'10", I believe. He's 6'10".
Like Gumball.
No. I think Bobo is 7'3", 7'4".
7'2", 7'3", yeah.
Yeah, Danny Wolf he's 6'10". He can handle the ball. He has a long wingspan. So I think he could be another interesting pick. The other guy I was thinking about was Derek Queen, the center out of.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Out of Maryland.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep. Derek Queen could be very interesting. The only thing about Derek Queen is I mentioned culture. There has been rumors that he's this kind of stuck up. He kind of works out when he wants to work out. He's not, doesn't have the drive. That kind of worries me because we don't need any more of those guys as the Suns.
All right, let me reiterate something. Not to cut you off. Now, does that go back to the whole thing with the NIL and the money? Now, these kids is already coming from money. So why do I need to put forth that effort if I'm, I'm already coming from money? Like, I don't need to put, even if some kids was not even to play basketball anymore, they would be set for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So why, so why put forth that effort? I don't know.
But let me ask you this, Roxbury. Doesn't that give an organization some type of clarity? Because, again, you're already seeing this picture before you draft them. So it's up to you to make that gamble. As the players make their gamble as far as being out in the open, speaking upon, yo, I'm a favorite kid. I was silver spoon fed. So I don't need all of that. I got this. But you better treat me special or else I'm not coming to your organization. So they've already put that on the platform. The organization has to have they should want to have a conversation and go, all right, but what do you want to be the best player ever? Do you want to make a lot of money playing basketball, or is this a job for you? And that's why I said, like, the interview process is actually helpful, and Ace Bailey's gambling on himself in a whole nother way. But I feel like that creates the clarity for an organization to want to make that gamble on a particular player. It's an investment. And if you see that player is not being as invested in basketball, I mean, there were people that didn't want to draft Jaylen Brown because they said he was too smart. You know what I'm saying? But now he's a Finals MVP, and so it's up to the organization. And I think that's why I think the interview process is solid. It can lead to success because now both people have a solid understanding. But I mean, it's all a gamble. It's all a gamble. We've seen some horrible number one picks. Anthony Bennett, who we thought was dedicated to basketball, and was a
that's the
talent,
thing.
ended up being Adam Morrison. I don't think he went number one, but he was getting buckets in college.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys like that, and that's what you worry about. I mean, especially what the Suns are coming off of. They went out and got the big three, and it failed miserably. And so now you want to build a team that has some edge, has some fight, has some grit. My guy Wolf I work with, he said the culture of the Phoenix Suns the past 3 years has been talent. That's it. The Suns are very talented. That's it. And so we want guys who, obviously you want talent on your team, but you also want guys who are going to work hard. And not only work harder than the other guys on the other bench. I'm going to work harder than you because I want it more than you do. And so I think some of those guys can do it. I think another guy, Carter Bryant out of U of A, I think he could be a very, very interesting sneaky piece. He's very good defensively. He can guard the perimeter. The only downside to him is offensively. Is his offensive game going to be able to develop? I think that's the biggest concern with him right now. But those are some of the guys that I think could really help this Suns team out. Obviously, they have another pick at 29. When it comes around, obviously we'll discuss.
Are you familiar with Yang Hassan?
No, I'm not. And actually, real quick, before we talk about Yang, the New Orleans pick is in at number 7, and they select Jeremiah Fears out of Oklahoma. So they went out and got another guard. Obviously, you just traded CJ McCollum and got back, Jordan Poole. But I think
he's like a slasher, right? He's like a slasher, right?
Yeah, he's a slasher. He can sit down on the defensive end a little bit. So another
next
piece.
to Trey and Herb, that's a good pick.
Yeah. That's another, and you have DeJounte Murray coming back off the Achilles. Obviously, I don't think he'll be back at the beginning of the season, but eventually he will come back. But we've talked about obviously the Suns and the Celtics, the two teams who do have a first-round pick in this draft. Kyson, when you look at this draft, as obviously we know the Cooper Flags, we know the Dylan Harpers, we know the Ace Baileys. But other than like those top guys, are there any guys that really stand out to you that could be the sneaky guys in the draft that really could stand out on certain teams when they're drafted?
Yeah, I just think that it just depends on where you go and your fit. Um, like this Jeremiah Fears kid, I'm looking at him. He fits perfectly with what the Pelicans are trying to do. They got wings, they got number wings and bigs already. Now they just need that lead guard. And I think this guy from Oklahoma, I remember watching him in a tournament here and there. He was pretty decent. But what I want to ask you guys is with the Dylan Harper pick, I was seeing comparisons for him being like a Cade Cunningham type of guy. Um, like I want to ask Tone and Roxbury specifically, the older guys, what's your definition of a point guard? Because when I see what's his face, Dylan Harper, I see a aggressive guy that just got the ball majority of the shot clock. Like I just think that point guard gets misconstrued with dribbling the ball out the air and going to do something with it versus actually being a facilitator, getting your teammates involved. I just want to know, like, what's your perspective, like, on a point guard?
Um, so my interpretation of a point guard is kind of piggybacking off of what you said. Is a point guard controls all aspects of the game. Should be able to know when when it's time to get your teammates involved, when it's time to be more aggressive on the offensive end, on the defensive end. You just have to be able to control all aspects of the game. You have to be able to, you know, okay, let me get my guys into their sweet spots. You want to make everybody around you better, no matter if it's on the defensive end or the offensive end. You have to make everybody around you better. Go ahead, Tony.
They definitely the quarterback of the team, and I agree that you should be working to make everyone else better. I think that basketball has changed since Roxbury and I were playing in high school versus what these kids are doing right now. It was much more facilitating when I was in high school versus now, but it was starting to transition as I was exiting high school. And there are a lot of organizations, and I think even in high school, a lot of teams that prefer to have a scoring point guard. And so it then keys in on what Roxbury just said is knowing the time periods within the game to utilize your playmaking and scoring abilities versus creating for others to have easier opportunities. I also think that defense is playing a big role. When you watch what the Celtics did, what OKC just did, those larger 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" guards who can take up space on the defensive end are extremely valuable right now. But I don't think you have to be John Stockton or even Halliburton right now to win in the league. Halliburton is an exceptional talent, but that's not what we're used to seeing. Stephen Curry, even when you look at Derek White and Drew Holiday, those guys can score the basketball. They're not out there averaging 10, 11, like Trey Young type of numbers. Trey Young's really the oddball amongst the entire league to where he can score 30 and still average 10 assists a game. This is not what we're used to seeing right now. The game has changed.
Yeah, Jamal. To bring it back to you, I just wanted to ask them that just to kind of like like lead into what I was about to say to answer your question. I see two guys that just got drafted by Wizards and the Pelicans that kind of do what Tone and Roxbury are speaking of, knowing when to score, knowing when to facilitate, and that's Trey Johnson and just Jeremiah Fears kid. Feel like those two guards are gonna be sleeper guards in this draft. When we look back 3, 4 years, we're like, hey man, they're starters in this league. They're holding their own for the Pelicans, for the Wizards, and they're gonna blossom and they're gonna have the opportunity to live and to learn through the bumps and bruises of the NBA because the spotlight will not be on them. The Wizards have no televised games. I don't think the Pelicans have any televised games, so nationally televised games at that. So I think those two guys are standouts. That guy from U of A that you mentioned.
Carter
Um,
Bryant.
yeah, Carter Bryant. I think that was the guy that we were looking at if we were to have our draft pick for Houston.
Hmm.
Him, Derek Queen. He was a character in the NCAA tournament. He's pretty good. I think he gets in the right situation with discipline and veterans. He'll blossom. But yeah, I think those two guards from Pelicans and the Wizards are gonna surprise us for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens here. The Brooklyn Nets pick is in. So when that comes down, we will let you know. I do think Gucci made a really good point here. He said money is overrated. You made it. Now it's time to work. A lot of people playing. A lot of players sitting on the bench and not playing. That's the thing. I mean, a lot of these kids,
Yes.
Roxbury, you kind of mentioned it. Like when you get to the league, that's where it starts. Like
Yes.
that's not
Yes.
the end goal. Like that's where the real work starts because it's not. And this is a saying not saying that you're at the top, but when you get to the NBA, yeah, it's the top league in the world. But how do you get to the top of the top? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like it's harder to get it's harder to stay at the top than it is to get to the top. And some of these kids get satisfied when they get just to the league. Period. So I think that was a really good point from Gucci. Um, but yeah, I think there's a couple guys that could really be sleepers in this draft. I think Denny Wolf, especially depending on what team he ends up going to, I think could be a sleeper. The Brooklyn Nets are making their selection right now, and they take the guard out of BYU, Igor Demine. Um, the Brooklyn Nets, they add another guard to that team. They have Cam Thomas. And so, maybe another guard to play alongside him. They
They've
will also,
spoken of actually moving him.
yeah, and I mean they could. I mean they just paid him. They paid their big last year, Nick Claxton. Like that, the Nets are another team. I'm not exactly sure what direction they're trying to go in.
Exactly.
Is D'Lo still in the team?
Who?
D'Lo?
He might be a free agent this year.
Yeah, D'Lo's still there.
Yeah,
He's still
but
there.
there are a couple teams trying to get D'Lo right now as well.
That's another guy. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of D'Angelo Russell, but nonetheless, yeah. So the Brooklyn Nets take Igor Demine. The Suns pick is 2 picks away, and so obviously, I'm the only Suns fan in here, so I will react to that when our pick does come around. But there's a lot of things to talk about, man, in terms of this draft. Some of the trades, I think there will be a few trades made within this draft. I'm thinking that we'll be able to react to, whether it's some teams trading up, some teams trading down, some teams trading some really good role players or players that they don't need anymore to
Wait,
trade
so
up.
Jamal,
Um,
so how do you? I don't. I'm looking at the draft board right now, and this VJ Ashcombe dude. Um, do you think he fits with Philly? I just think that was kind of like a best player available.
yeah, I think, and you broke up there a little bit, guys, and I hope I didn't like interrupt you.
He
But
said he thinks it was more of a best player available. I think it's a little bit of
Yeah,
both.
yeah. So I was getting a phone call. Yeah, I just said it seemed like a best player available pick. I don't really see that him working out with Philly, especially with all those guards. How do you feel about that pick in specific?
with VJ, he can score the basketball, and obviously, like you mentioned, the 76ers got a lot of guards that can score the basketball. They got Maxey, obviously, who's one of the best guards in the league. They got McCain, who they drafted last year, who probably would have won Rookie of the Year if he didn't get hurt. And now you bring in Edgecombe. I think it's going to be an interesting fit. With the injuries, maybe they went out and got Edgecombe not only because he's the best available, but hey, McCain got injured last year. What if he gets injured again and we need somebody to fill his spot? Tyrese Maxey had a few things last year. What if he gets injured again and need him to fill that spot? I think that where the Sixers really lack is wing depth. That's where the biggest thing is where I thought they needed. And but wing depth that doesn't you don't need another scorer. You have other scorers. You have Paul Georges. You have Embiid. You have Tyrese Maxey. You have Jared McCain. I think if they went out and would have got maybe again a Con Kneppel or a Carter Bryant, obviously you're not going to take those guys with the third overall pick. I think it's going to be an interesting fit for VJ Edgecombe in Philly, just because of like you said,
Can he
guys, all the
play the three though, or is he strictly a two? Because he's like what, 6'7"?
He's short, man. He's 6'4".
I thought he was
But
like 6'7".
he's super
VJ
athletic though. Super
Yeah.
athletic.
Yep.
Super
He'll likely
athletic.
be like Anthony Edwards. Like
Super athletic.
yeah, he'll be Anthony Edwards, and to have that type of, I think they're just adding depth. I do think it's a little bit of both of what you're asking, Kyson, as he was probably the most valuable player at the third pick, and so why not take him when you're thinking of letting Paul George go anyways? Like it's on the fence for them. They're actually thinking about trying to get more value or maybe even possible draft picks for next year. I don't know if we'll find out if it fits until we see them play. What we get like 5 games from them last year. The Sixers
Yeah,
healthy.
all three. Yeah, the big three. Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard.
not
It's
very
really
many.
hard to tell. I will say he's a pretty good defender as well. Like he's got NBA strength and athleticism, so that's something that they could use on the wing on the perimeter. I wanted to ask a quick question though. Based off of the conversation we've been having thus far, Maul, you and I have had this conversation before. When you look at this NIL deal, and then you look at like overseas basketball, when you look at the top 5 candidates for MVP, significant amount of them are European or athletes from overseas.
For foreign.
They've been playing professionally since they were 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
Don't you think that this NIL deal? Now, again, I do think that there's going to be, bumps and bruises throughout the situation and learning curve. But don't you think it'd be best for us to iron it out now? Like the players have won. There's been deals under the table. I'm sure Roxbury remembers what happened with Jalen Rose and Chris Webber and those guys.
Yeah.
So there's actually already been NIL deals. But then you're at a level where when money comes, opportunity comes. These players get to work out. They get better food. They get better. They get all of these other better. They just get professional lives. Don't you think it'd be better for us to have a better product? Essentially, it's like you got Wemby, you got Jokic, you got Giannis, you got Luka. These guys are playing professional basketball at such a young age that they're more developed than what we're providing in America. And so with the NIL deals, it's just essentially forcing the sport to be more professional at a younger age. Don't you think that's better for our product?
It is to an extent. It is to an extent because at the end of the day, obviously I'm 22, so I don't want to call these other grown men kids. But compared to the other guys in the league, they're still kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they still need to learn as they're coming up, like some of these other guys did. And so again, I agree with the fact that they're getting paid. I'm on that. I'll stand on that hill and I'll say it proudly. But I just think some of the power that they have. I think they have too much power too early. That's the biggest thing to me.
See, my thing is, Tone, I'm with you. Those kids, they get developed differently though. They're drilling the fundamentals down in their head. Like they're fundamentals, basics. Like they're practicing that from 8 7 8 years old till 20 23 24. Like even when they go overseas, the Evan Fournier, the guys that play in the NBA, then they go back to France or they go back to their home countries and play overseas. They're practicing fundamentals right now as we speak. Versus over here, a kid gets good enough at 13, 14, or I'm done doing jump stops. I'm done using my pivot foot. I'm trying to cross somebody dunk. I'm trying to end up on Baller's Life. I'm trying to end up on OTE and all these things of that nature. I just think it's a different culture of basketball being brought up here versus overseas. Now, I'm with Jamal. I'm all for these guys getting paid, but how are they being taught the game versus how are they being taught the game in Europe is just two different things, and which is why these European guys are coming through and they're excelling faster than our guys in America. I just think that how the game is being taught is the bigger issue than the money in America.
Sorry. Yeah, I think Cassie made a lot of great points. Toronto's pick is in. They just took Colin Murray Boyles. That's one of the guys I was hoping would be
Dang.
available to the Suns. That was one of the guys I was hoping would be available to the Suns. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, NIL is interesting, man. It's changing the sport. It's changing, and there's a lot of people who are completely against it. There's a lot of people who hate it. There's a lot of people who think it's killing the sport. It's bringing it down. Sports in general, not just basketball or football. I think football is the biggest one in terms of the NIL that people really get under their skin in college football, just because of the transfers and what is it, 10, 15 years ago? If a lot of these guys, if you didn't start, okay, you're on the bench. Okay, now when is it? Now I'm gonna make my own opportunity. Now, if you're a second string, third string, and you believe you can be a first string, you're gone. There's no work ethic anymore.
To me, it just makes people work harder. The colleges have to work harder to find better people, and the players have to work harder to put themselves in better positions. And to me, that's essentially what we want. It's just going to take a year or two for us to have a better understanding of the situation. But I remember old people not liking cell phones either. Them cell phones ain't go nowhere. We got a lot more cell phone companies. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you got to roll with the punches and not, run from them or boycott the punches. Like I'd assume the NIL deal isn't going anywhere. These players deserve to be paid. They're bringing in more money than coaches, and coaches are getting paid absurd amounts of money in college. Like nobody's going to the game to watch the coach.
No.
And
But
so,
how's the integrity of the game with the NIL though?
that's what I mean. Like the NCAA has to work harder to find better people. Like Roxbury, when you walk into a high school arena, when you see the kid with the Jordans, with the matching Jordan socks, with the matching Jordan armband, and the matching, you're like, oh, he's here to be flashy. He not here like, well, that's the perception. I'm not even saying that that's guaranteed. That's the perception. Yeah. And so it's up for the NCAA and the actual school to go read this player, find out more about him. Interview his girlfriend, interview his parents, find out if this dude really is invested in the sport or he just wants a bigger chain. And that's what I feel like colleges are afraid of. They used to be able to go, yo, we're going to get you the next pair of Jordans. And players signed. But it's not that easy anymore. And so I feel like people are afraid of working hard. Like, and I honestly think the outcome further down the line, it might be 10 years down the line, but it'll be better. You're going to see players who actually deserve the money and are actually willing to work way harder for the money.
The Suns pick is up right now.
From Duke.
You don't know which way they're gonna go, Maul.
Hey, I have no idea, Rox. Hey, I don't like when I tell you I like with the Cardinals, right? With the Cardinals, they had the 16th pick. I was like, they're gonna go front seven on defensive line. They're gonna get a defensive lineman. I just didn't know who they were gonna take. I don't know if they're gonna take an edge. I don't know if they're gonna take an interior defensive lineman. I have no idea what the Suns are gonna do right now. And the thing that worries me the most, Rox, is that this could easily go wrong, just like that. Easily. And depending on who they take, I mean, they could take somebody out of left field that hasn't been mocked to them, that hasn't been that they might even need. I'll tell you what though, I'll tell you right now. If they take Jace Richardson out of Michigan State,
I was just about to say that.
If they take Jace Richardson out of Michigan State, I'm leaving.
Long enough.
This podcast is done. It was fun. It was fun while it lasted. It's done. I'm canceling it. Over.
That'd be like 6 shooting guards. That'd be like 6 shooting guards.
Hey, Rox, see, that's another point. The more important point to me, he went to Michigan State. I promise I'll leave.
Is it because of Jordan Knott?
Jordan Knott, Brian Gregory.
So just what you're speaking to, right? Ownership does stuff like that, and you don't want a player to have any say so?
No. It depends.
That's a give and take.
It really depends because at the end of the day, like.
Oh, Gucci, great point.
Oh, see, yeah, that's the reason why Nick Saban retired, and honestly, now this is a completely different topic. We don't have to spend really any time on this, but that's why I was surprised Bill Belichick came back and is coaching college. I mean, it's a completely different game than what when he was coaching in his prime. Obviously, I don't know how much, if any, time that Bill Belichick spent in college before, but even in the NFL, it's different. With the young guys coming in, already have made it millions. In the early 2000s, or when I was growing up, at least in the early 2000s, early 2010s, like these guys had to earn their way. Like there wasn't, obviously some number 1 overall, number 2 overall, high overall picks had some sort of special treatment because that's supposed to be the future of the franchise. But some of these guys, even in the second round, are coming in that have already made millions. And so now you're supposed to treat these other guys, again, rookies who are just getting here, who haven't proved themselves to anybody, and now you're giving them special treatment for what? because you think they're going to be the future? I'm not understanding that. I don't understand that part. So I don't know, but yeah, the Suns pick is in. I'm stressing,
Hold
fellas.
on, wait. I'm seeing here y'all was gonna get that African dude. How you say it?
Comment Malawatch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's your
I'd be
best
happy.
bet. That's your best bet. Y'all need a
Yeah,
bet.
that's what I've been seeing.
Uh-oh.
No. Is that? Hold on. Is that real?
Mark
Uh-oh.
Williams to the
I just
Suns.
got a trade. I just got a trade
That's
notification.
huge.
No way.
Wow.
Yep.
That's huge.
They traded the 10th pick.
No, they did not trade the 10th pick. They traded the 29th pick.
The Lakers is shaking their head right now. Like
Wow.
So
Mark
Mark
Williams
Williams back
Yo.
with Nick
and Nick
Richards.
Richards. And y'all got Kamen. Come on. So you got two centers in a matter of a minute.
Wow. What just
Wow.
happened?
that's a lot of trade value.
So now they have 3 centers.
Yeah, they got
The
Nick
night has
Richards.
officially started.
Hey, Kevin.
Okay. Yeah. Hey. Okay. So
I called it.
This is the official trade. The Charlotte Hornets are trading center Mark Williams to the Phoenix Suns for the number 29 pick tonight and a 2029 first round pick.
That's it?
That's it.
That's a
Wow.
Wow.
call that a
That's a
swindle.
steal. That
That-
is a
Wow.
steal.
I'll tell you what, that's a lot less than the Lakers gave up earlier at the trade deadline.
Absolutely.
That's a lot less.
Absolutely.
And then they keep the number 10 overall pick in which they took Kaman Malawatch.
Oh, they did get him?
They kept him.
Yeah, they got him. So
This is their pick.
Wow.
It's gonna be interesting to see what the Lakers try to do now because Mark Williams was definitely on their board.
I'm gonna try to trade for Nick Claxton next.
And
Wow.
it'll be interesting to see
Okay.
Nick-
because now that they
Nick
have
Richards
a little bit more
was-
value.
Nick Richards was Mark Williams' backup in Charlotte.
He's gonna be
This-
his backup again.
So now they
This
back.
is-
That's crazy.
Okay, now we were just saying, fellas. I said the Suns could easily mess this up. They
And
didn't.
they didn't.
They didn't. They actually went out and they improved. They got out again. They got their, hopefully future 2 centers, I guess, and Kaman Malawatch and Nick Williams. Obviously, that I haven't seen too much of today. You see the emotions on Kaman Malawatch's face. You see how happy he is just to be drafted into the NBA. And this is a guy who was good. Like, he's from South Sudan. And as an African man myself, I'm so happy about this.
Sudan got some hoopers, man.
I'm so happy for what the Suns were just able to do within the last 5 minutes. Malawatch is a guy that can absolutely block. He can block shots. He can rim protect. He can go and catch lobs. He is tough. He is gritty. That is what the Suns need, is tough and grit. He is both of those things.
Is he physically able, though, do you think? Right now, is
100%.
he physically?
Well, you got to think.
100%.
You got to think. Remember, Rosberg, he's only going to play against usually the bench squad. Like, he's not going to play against, a lot of minutes against Jokic.
No, this dude.
AD. He's going to play against a lot of bench squad.
No, this dude has potential to start this year.
Yeah, he might have potential to start, but he's not going to start over Mark Williams. They wouldn't.
No, Mark Williams is
They're not
due for
trading Nick
what?
Richards then?
Listen,
I think they got a lot of value.
I don't think you do. I think you keep him.
Nick Richards?
The more big men, the better.
I mean, but
That takes away his minutes. That takes away the rookie's minutes.
But Mark
Yes,
Williams,
exactly.
y'all gotta understand. Mark Williams is injury prone.
That
He's
was
due
issue.
for 50
I get that
games,
too,
minimum
but
max.
That's another
50
good point.
games max. So I would keep all 3 if I were them. But I wouldn't be surprised if they got off Nick Richards. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I just think with 3 centers who all can't shoot the 3 ball, all pretty good defensively. Nick Richards had his moments, and Kaman Malawatch obviously was very, 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 very good defensively in college at Duke. And Mark Williams is another guy who is also very, very, very good defensively. And 3 guys who can't shoot the 3 ball at the 5 position. It's interesting to see what they're gonna do. I love the draft. I love the pick. I absolutely love the pick. Now, if you're gonna trade for Mark Williams, maybe take a wing, maybe take a Carter Bryant, the guy who can fill in, that role. Obviously, you have Ryan Dunn, who you drafted last year. who is going to develop and only get better, which I absolutely am so happy about. I love Ryan Dunn. I've talked about it multiple times on this show throughout the
Why
year.
he got on a Rockets hat? Because the trade came from the Rockets. Why?
That's another
Yeah,
that's another
it's
thing
yet
they
to
do
be.
all
The
the time.
trade isn't official yet.
Yeah, it's not official.
July 6th.
But
I definitely think that you keep this pick and you trade away Nick Richards. Don't you guys have a second round pick too?
we have 2 second-round picks.
Yeah. I just pick up somebody to take up a couple casual minutes in the second round. Go get you another big. Then you got Nick Richardson
Man,
be able to ship
I'm
away for something else valuable.
I'm sorry. Am I the only one that thinks the Suns need a point guard in some
No,
sort of
I
fashion?
mean,
That's why.
but
That's
here's
why
the
they
thing.
should trade Nick Wade for a point guard.
Yeah, that's what I say. You got Nick Richardson,
Yeah, all
Bradley
right.
Beal.
I'm
You go
with
get a
that.
point
Okay,
guard
we
and you
got
draft a big
yeah.
in the second round. And
Uh,
now
But
you're
nobody
really set.
nobody wants to build contract though. Nobody wants to build contract.
Yeah.
see now, Rocks. You know,
Brooklyn,
it's
man.
been reported. It's been reported, and you know, my guy Gambo, he reported the other day there are a few teams that are interested in trading for Bradley Beal. Now, the teams haven't been uh public, for lack of a
Mhm.
better word. They haven't been exposed to the public, but there are a few teams who are interested in trading for Bradley Beal. Obviously, Bradley Beal has a no trade clause, which so you know he would have to be on board with it. But I'm so happy for what what the Suns just did within the past 5 minutes. I mean, eh, honestly, my favorite part about the trade is the Suns did what the Lakers couldn't do. They went and got Mark Williams. That's my favorite part. That's my favorite. You know, I love Come On Malawach, and the Suns went and did what the Lakers couldn't do. And now you take that option away from the Lakers, who is a team that's looking for a big. And so again, Mark Williams is a young guy. Now, Kyson, you mentioned that he's been injury prone. He absolutely has, but he has a lot of potential if he's able to stay healthy. And I mentioned, when was it that we talked about it?
It's a
Duke
trade. It's
too.
a trade.
Yeah. Oh,
Duke.
yeah. Actually, D'Lo actually said Blazers 11 pick to Memphis. Memphis is moving up.
Memphis is doing some things quietly, man.
Yeah, they are. But yeah, I'm so super excited about what the Suns just did. I think those are 2 huge moves. I think you fill that big spot that they have desperately been needing to fill. I think, you know, like you guys mentioned, in the second round they go and get maybe a guard. I don't know how realistic it is that it's going to be for any second round players to come in and step in and have an impact. I mean, also Iguodala did it at some point in time last year, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the second round. That is tomorrow, so we won't see what they do until tomorrow night. But
It's wild that there's like a lot of West Coast stuff going on right now, not a lot of East Coast action.
you know, speaking of which, and obviously, actually, you know what? So let's announce this pick that just happened. Cedric Howard, the wing out of Washington State, is going number 11 to Memphis, who just traded up with the Blazers to get that number 11 overall pick. But one of the things we have not talked about, Drew Holiday was traded from the Celtics to the Portland Trail Blazers for Anthony Simons, and Drew I believe there was 2 second round picks attached to Drew Holiday as well. Tone, what I know you I see you clapping. What was your reaction to Drew Holiday being traded and you gaining Anthony Simons?
It was definitely a little sour to see Drew go. He put in a lot of work for the Celtics, helped us win a championship. He had some huge plays in that run, but I think it was a fortunate trade. Brad Stevens, he's done wonders. He's done some amazing stuff. We got a little younger, a little more athletic. He averaged almost 20 points last season, about a half of assists less. I will say he's not quite the defender that Drew is. Drew was an exceptional defender, but I think that we just moved Derek White on ball and let him play off ball, and he's a pretty good defender. It's not like he's just trash at defense. But again, he's prolific offensively. He actually they were starting to call him Little Dame in Portland because he studied Dame and did a lot of the same things: the step back threes, the shooting from 30, 35. Like that kid is special. And I think that he's going to fit very well in the system, I think he's actually gonna do numbers in the East Coast, averaging 20 in the West. You know, he should average at least 22, 24 in the East, and Jason Tatum, so he's got some room to flap his wings. I'm excited to see. I've always liked his game, and I think he's likely in his prime, so it's the perfect time to go get him.
Rox, how you feeling about Drew Holiday getting shipped off to Portland for Anthony Simons?
I'm 50-50 on it because, you know, Drew Holiday, he brought that stability to the locker room and that calmness. So you lose that out of the locker room. You bring in a prolific scorer, but like now somebody else has to step up at the locker room. And who's that person going to be? You know, our emotional leader's gone. We don't know if Forfeit's coming back. You know, so I'm kind of on the fence about that. So, but I love Simons though. I think he's definitely a prolific scorer. You know,
Yeah.
but I want go ahead.
No. Go ahead and finish.
And I just it all goes back to what I wanted. I want to revert back to we was having about Philadelphia with VJ. Now, do you look as a you see how Paul George might have only a couple years left, and he's always injury prone. When you look at drafting a player, now do you get a player that you want to automatically play, or do you get a player that you try to groom, sit back a couple years, let him develop, and then put him into the starting lineup, or do you go for like an Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper, like for the hype? Like what do you like? Like what do you do?
That's that's interesting. I think you go for a guy again that kind of fits everything that you stand for. I think you go for a guy that fits your system as just as much as fits your culture. Ace Bailey is a I mean, when you look at him, he might be the most talented outside of Cooper Flag. He might be the most talented guy in the draft. But
Mhm.
talent only takes you so far in terms of the
Exactly.
NBA. Talent only
Exactly.
takes you so far. So if you're not willing to buy into the culture, buy into the system of, again, the Celtics who just won a championship. So obviously their culture is doing something right. Their system is doing right. But that's the most important thing. If they're not willing to buy into the system, buy into the culture, and fit into that team, talented or not, I think you go get the guy that's going to fit in the most with the team.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Um, Kev, when you look at this trade, what do you think, man? Who do you obviously Drew Holiday goes to Portland, who I'd imagine maybe they keep him, maybe they don't. This is the second time Drew Holiday has been sent to Portland, but he was traded immediately, obviously last time to Boston. What do you think about this trade? Do you think this makes the Boston Celtics competitive again in the East, again without Jason Tatum, their best player next year?
I think it's a drop off defensively. Because Drew has always been the excellent defender. He can guard 1 through 3, at times even at the 4. But you bring in someone like Simons, he can give you. He's averaged over 20 points per game a couple of times in his career. So he gives you 3 level scoring. He gives you some playmaking as well. I think it's very much needed, especially with JT most likely out for the whole entire season this upcoming season. So I think he's a good guy to play along Jalen Brown and have those two guys be the main 2 scorers. I think it still gives them a competitive edge. I think they can still be a playoff team even without Tatum out, only because of who they have on their team still. Um, so I think it's a trade where Boston realized Drew's not getting any younger. He's mid 30s now. So I mean, you gotta go for someone that's like what Simon's like 26, 27, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So you get someone much younger who's just now reaching his prime. So I think it's a good trade for Boston. They lose some defense, but they still got guys like Brown and White to play defense on that side of the ball.
Kyson, would you think of the trade? You think it was productive for both sides? You think one side kind of leaned more productive than the other? How you feel?
Man, I don't know what Portland doing. Like seriously, like you trade Damian Lillard for the dude for 2 firsts, and then you get him back and for 2 seconds. Like I'm just confused. Like what are we doing? Um, I was reading reports that it looks like they're keeping him. Portland's keeping Drew Holiday this time. Um, they were looking at it as it being an aggressive move, and I don't know the direction of the Portland Trailblazers. They just gave Chauncey a extension just for being there, just for being in the struggle. So on the Portland side, yes, Drew Holiday makes your team better, but I think he's getting paid a lot of money too. His mindset is going to be, if we're not winning, then I think I'm gonna just be a vet, just be a voice for the locker room and things of that nature because this is a lateral move for Portland, and it kind of was a lateral move for Boston. But granted, for Boston, it works out for them because this could easily be a rental. You don't like what you see from this year. I'm pretty sure Simon has a year or two left on his deal. You can get off of it, or you let him walk, things of that nature. This is just to get someone to fill in the offensive role that Tatum will be vacating. So I like to trade for Boston. I don't like to trade for Portland due to the fact that you just got the same dude that you got before, and you got way less for him this time. And he is older. He's 2 years older at that. So, but for Boston, I think this works out good. This reminds me of IT. I'm not saying Anthony is IT, but he has, flashes of being a volume scorer, somebody you can rely on to get you 20, maybe sometimes 30 points per game. I like this move for Boston, but for Portland, hopefully it works out, but I just don't see it working out.
Just trade Drew
Now,
Holiday to Phoenix for Bradley Beal. Like, let's just get that deal over with.
Jesus. There. Shout out to D'Lo. There, he brought it to our attention. There's some more breaking news. There's another trade. Now number 12, the Chicago Bulls went out and got Noah Essengay, the forward out of France.
I like his
Who,
game.
yeah, no, he's definitely been productive in playing overseas. That's another one of those guys who's been playing professionally for a long time. But there's some more breaking news. The Atlanta Hawks are trading the number 13 overall pick to the New Orleans Pelicans. They're trading that pick for the number 23 overall pick and an unprotected 2026 first round pick. Now, and that 2026 first round pick is the more favorable one of New Orleans and the Bucks. So the Hawks are trading up. I'm sorry, the Pelicans are trading up to number 13 from
All
23
West Coast.
For
All West
for
Coast.
what?
for this year's first, for obviously, or for 23 and the 2026 unprotected first round pick
Next year,
next year.
Atlanta traded their pick to New Orleans.
So it's the pick that they had but it's the most favorable of New Orleans and Milwaukee. So whichever one. So I'd imagine to be New Orleans, but if New Orleans gets the higher pick, that's the pick that they will take. Does that make sense?
Wow.
Yeah. So, and their pick is in right now.
Yeah, they must like who's available.
Yeah. So yeah, they're moving up, and they're
lot of
going to
wings.
get a guy.
A lot
They're
of
going to
wings
get a
still
guy
left.
that huh?
A lot of wings left.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Carter Bryant is still on the block or on the
But does
board.
Atlanta need wings though?
I don't think so. I don't think.
Depth,
I think they're
is
going to
the
get.
new depth is the new thing, man. Every
It
team is
is.
looking for depth.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah, you
there's still
need.
some guys on here, man. There's still some bigs. Derek Queen, I believe Derek Queen is still on the board. Carter Bryant is still on the board. Casper's the guy that you were talking about. Casper's you
Do
Conis.
you guys think Derek Quinn's able to slide to the floor? Is he able to like space the floor a bit, or
He could. He's an undersized five.
he's like 6'10", isn't he?
He's 6'9", I believe.
When and if y'all get a chance, man, check out that dude Kasparis, and then check out Yang. That dude Yang, kind of different, man.
Me personally, I've been looking into Rocky's Zakowski. I think that's how you say his name. I think he's from Australia.
There's still some guys on here, man. Now If you're just tuning in, I think the biggest news, correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, I don't want to sound biased, but I think the biggest news of the day so far is the Suns trading that they're for Mark Williams, the Charlotte Hornets center.
It's Kyson. Was Kyson? I thought Kyson was holding that face. Pause.
But that's probably been the biggest news of the day, or at least the biggest trade. Obviously, Cooper Flag.
That's probably the biggest trade. I think the biggest news is Ace Bailey going to Utah. Like that just
think so?
It wasn't expected. No, I mean, one, he fell from top 3 to the 5th spot, and then he went to Utah.
I don't think he was expected. I don't think he was expected to go top 3 though. I think that 5, 6, 7 range is kind of where everybody was. I mean, that's all the mock drafts.
Isn't that where he said he wanted to go 5, 6, 7 area?
Yeah.
Yeah. But his value put him at top 3. He just didn't want to go to any of those organizations. But
Yeah.
For him to go to Utah, where he's likely not going to win at all.
But he will be getting lots of looks, though, behind marketing, most likely.
Yeah, I'm about to say a lot of looks for what? For L's? Have fun.
For his stats.
Have fun. I guess that's how you get money, though. If that's what he's, what his top interest is.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, my Suns, they traded for Mark Williams and they drafted Kaman Malawach, the center out of Duke University. They gave up tonight's 29 overall pick as well as a 2029 first round overall.
They moved Anthony Simons to Boston. Are they basically like looking into Scoot Henderson taking that lead role at point guard after Drew Holiday?
I think that was their goal. I think to give the keys to Scoot,
because Scoot he's been like a little under the radar from last season and his rookie season.
He wasn't consistent and he was turning the ball over too much. But like with that level of athleticism, I think they expected him to actually be able to score the basketball, and I don't think he was able to fill Anthony's shoes at that. And now the expectations are for him to do so.
Is he not the lead scorer, or is he still in or Denny Abdia?
Who?
Is he now the main scorer, Scoot Henderson, or is it Denny Abdia or DeAndre Ayton?
I think they're figuring it out. They also got who's the kid that participated in the slam dunk contest?
Shaden Sharp. Sharp.
So like they got pieces over there.
The Pelicans moved up to trade to get Derek Queen out of Maryland.
Pelicans are actually
they get their center.
They went
The Pelicans have everything that they need right now. It's how healthy can Zion be, and how quickly can they, put the pieces together.
And how much can they get DeJounte back to his before his injury too?
Yeah, I respect that, but they've got pieces. Like, not DeJounte is the starting guard, but they got pieces. And so the Pelicans,
it's kind of like the same thing for the Hawks. They have a good starting five, in my opinion.
I'd say the Pelicans have a lot more defense than the Hawks. But I shouldn't say that. The Hawks have defense going from the 2 to the 5. Pelicans got defense going from the 1 to the 7.
Is DeJounte still that elite two-way player though?
I don't know if he's elite, but I bet you he's better than Trae Young. I could put a
better than Trae Young on defense.
Whole stack of money that he's a better defender than Trae Young.
But Knoxdale does make up for his lack of defense, though.
Yeah. I'm interested. I'm just interested to see how that works out for them too, man. The Hawks got a solid looking roster. If Porzingis can stay healthy,
especially because the East is a little opened up with Boston and Indy getting banged up with their star players.
Yeah, it should be a run with Cleveland. Even Milwaukee should find a way to do something interesting, even though that they won't have Dame. But they should be able to make a solid playoff run. But I think, Orlando's really the scary team out there because you just don't know what the way they performed in the playoffs. They could make an interesting.
New York, or is New York?
New York still, but I don't think New York is like a sleeper. Like it's to me again. So that would be to me. New York and the Cavs are like those are the
So it's
Hey,
1 and 2.
guaranteed top fours. Yeah, top four.
hey,
And then
that's second apron demon coming for the New York Knicks too.
yeah, they're
Coming for
next.
the Cavs
They're
too.
next.
They
The Bucks,
next. The Cavs.
the Bucks,
Oh
the
yeah, the
Knicks,
Cavs too.
the Bucks, the Knicks, and the Cavs. The Bucks are suffering from that
Yeah,
too.
it
Yep,
already got
y'all
us.
definitely next.
It already got us.
Especially because
We're
Kobe
getting
won
low again.
boy. He's getting paid more now after his rookie contract.
And that's the tough part about having success. Is like when you look at like Peyton Pritchard, like when he won $6 million of the year, now he's worth more. And so like that's the problem with having success. That's why like I've always felt like we don't give Jordan Walsh any minutes. I'm like, oh, Jordan Walsh has got value. But I think it's because we don't want him to create more value to where we got to pick it.
And see, that's the thing that you were just saying about the VJ Edgecombe pick and things of that nature. Like depth. That's why you need just guys to just keep going and going and going. So you're not without because you get a guy so good now he worth 300 million and you don't have it for him. So
That's
you gotta
why I
have
said
another
Hauser
guy
is likely gone.
right next to him.
Isn't it crazy
Exactly.
to think that today's world 30 million is like pretty cheap for a contract?
Yeah, like JG contract was what 32, 33 million for what 3 years? That was a
Because
bargain.
now, like compared to back then, like 10 years ago, 30 mil is a lot 10 years ago.
Still is.
Um, yeah, 30 million is a lot of money.
Well, I'm saying from athlete's perspective.
Right, right.
Let's move on to this. I thought this was interesting while we wait for the San Antonio Spurs to make their pick at number 14. The Houston Rockets were in the news. What was it yesterday? Or maybe today. Fred VanVleet
That was today.
intends
Yeah, that
to
was today.
sign. He intends to sign a 2-year, $50 million extension to stay with the franchise. Now, after trading for Kevin Durant, there were questions about whether or not Fred VanVleet was going to stay with the team. Maybe the Rockets wanted to move off him. So, Kyson, obviously, we'll start with you. This is your team. You've mentioned Fred VanVleet, how you would want to get off of him. And you see today that the Rockets feel differently about that. Before you answer, though, really quickly, the Spurs are making that selection, and they
Ah,
select Carter Bryant. That is a very good pickup for them.
Another
That is a
guard for them, huh?
huh?
Another guard.
he's
Wing.
No,
like
a wing.
he's like a
He's a
small
wing.
forward.
Yeah, he's a wing. He's a small forward, power forward, and he is a very good defender. And the thing is, they don't really need offense. They don't really need too much offense. So you bring in a guy like this who can guard the perimeter, who's tough, who can, who's gritty, and will do the things that other players aren't willing to do. I think it's a very good pickup for them. But nevertheless, Kyson, how do you feel about Fred VanVleet
Wore a
signing a
shirt.
2-year extension?
He could have wore a t-shirt.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's 2 year, 50 million with the player option in year three. So up to 3 years, $75 million deal. Kevin, it's so funny that we're talking about it. Good timing, Jamal. Kevin was just talking about it. 30 million is cheap nowadays for a player. So for a guy who played well in the playoffs, has catapulted us in the 40 plus, 50 plus win seasons in just 2 years to take a $20 million pay cut. I mean, hats off to him, man. And I know I was a little harsh on him, and that's just the fantasy of a NBA fan. I want John Morant. I mean, I want Giannis. I want some of my favorite players in the league playing for my favorite team. But we gotta be realistic. When y'all asked me what was our plans for the summer, I told y'all if Kevin Durant is feasible, if it's doable, then we go ahead and make that move. We're gonna resign Fred, and I thought we were gonna keep JG, but we didn't. So with that all that being said, I like the move. I like how we're looking heading forward. I told y'all a couple days ago though we need one more piece, and there's a guy I've been in my group chats. I think I brought him up in our group chat. Bruce Brown. We don't need much. We just need 3 and D at that two
Bruce
spot.
CB, another New England prospect, man, straight out
Yes,
of Dorchester,
sir.
straight
We
out the
need
town.
we need either him or Quinn Grimes. I think we just need there's never enough depth you need, especially when you got OKC. They go continuously have 11 guys they can plug and play. So I just think we're one more piece away, but I'm liking the Fred signing.
Carson, you said 3 and D, right?
Oh Lord, D'Lo, D'Lo,
Go ahead and
man,
pin that, Jamal. Go ahead and pin that, Jamal.
What?
Pin that
D'Lo. We
Keon
about to
Ellis
bring.
right there.
Hey, this man is Keon Ellis's agent,
No, I don't know
like
what.
actual.
Hold on. Where is it at? D'Lo actually mentioned it. D'Lo is where is it at? I don't know
Well,
where
yeah,
it
he
is.
said it.
He
He said
said
it
if
about
you
3 minutes.
ask Kev, son should go get Keon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. I mean, why? Okay, you know what, Kevin? Real quick before we move on, I got a couple other things I want us to talk about. What is your affection? What is your attraction? What is your attraction
Whoa,
Distraction is
whoa.
crazy.
for Keon Ellis?
All right.
what is
First,
what
first off, he's 6'4", so
infatuation? That's the
it's
other
not
word I
like
was
he's
looking
like an
for.
Damn, you
undersized guard. He's
infatuated?
6'4". Can play amazing defense. And like Tyson said, you don't need much. He brings defense. He can shoot the ball as well a little bit. He's a perfect guy to plug and play with next to Ben Thompson.
And you called him a playmaker.
Okay, maybe I reached a bit on there, but
Okay, you know what? As long as we admit to it, that's okay. That's
but
Cavs
you know
need
what
him,
three
man.
and three
The Cavs
three and
need
D
somebody
though,
like that.
accountability.
no, the Cavs need a back big.
Um, let's now another report that came out today. The Celtics are currently fielding calls from multiple teams about Jaylen Brown and interest in Jaylen Brown. Tone,
Yeah.
it sounds now obviously you've mentioned you do not want to get off of Jaylen Brown. If you were to get the right offer, if you were to get just enough for in which you'd have to think about, oh, you know what, that's a pretty good haul. Would you be willing to give up Jaylen Brown?
No, there's really not enough. Like, there's not enough. Like, you talking about something that no one's really going to give up. That would be enough. This is a Finals MVP. This is somebody who's averaged 25 for a championship team. It's somebody who's averaged 23 in the playoffs and won a championship. You just don't give them type of caliber plays up. It's someone who slowed down Luka Doncic, who people will call one of the most prolific offensive threats in the game. You just don't give up JB in his prime as well. Like, he just had knee surgery. I can't see. And then what I think, the any fan who doesn't hear about actual Boston news would miss is what he actually does within the community. That's a big reason why he gets a lot of love in Boston, is what he does within the community. I follow JB. Actually, his bodyguard is somebody I know personally. What he was just at the Dorchester Y 2 days ago, giving out hundreds of sneakers. Those are things that you can't mimic. Like, that's who the person is. And I again, what Roxbury was speaking to before he left, about Drew Holiday, is that's going to be missed. Drew's responsibility within the locker room. I don't think that can be fulfilled by anybody else but Jaylen Brown. Those shoes will not be filled by anybody else. You need a specific type of person to lead within the locker room. Jaylen Brown's that type of person. And I will say, I did see the mentions of offers. Then I quickly then seen Sham say that the Celtics are shooting down any offers that are being made for specifically Derek White and Jaylen Brown. They don't care what offers are made; those guys are off the table.
Yeah, as they should be. As they should be. Gucci says JB worked out with Jimmy. So yeah,
think so.
it's yeah, it's gonna be interesting. This is I do want to. It's not basketball, and now when the Thunder are up now again, they have 2 first-round picks and they just won the freaking championship. But the Thunder have the 15th overall pick and their pick is in. So when that pick comes down, we will let you know.
It's no longer the lottery, right? After 14.
Yeah, after 14, no.
Yeah, you forgot to mention that they have that kid Jokic who's just waiting on the bench.
I mean, is it Jokic or Topic?
Topic.
But this was kind of a big story yesterday. Now this It's not exactly, too much like actual sports talk, but I did think we could spend a few minutes on it, if even that. But yesterday, again, one of my teams, but this was all over the place. Saw this all over the place. Second baseman for the Diamondbacks, Ketel Marte, was seen visibly in tears, was crying yesterday on the field, because of a fan, um, heckling at him and mentioning his mother who passed away in 2017, in a car accident. And you can obviously how upset he was and how distraught he was over that. That fan, um, saying things like that. I did again. I will spend a minute or two on it. I don't understand what is wrong with people and what I mean. Yes, I understand these are professional athletes and they make tens of millions of dollars, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars. These are human beings. And I think that's what a lot of fans don't realize. And for that fan to go out and, I mean, you went out and bought a ticket and then you went and purposely said this to a man who you knew lost his mother tragically, about, 7 years ago. And to say something like that to, Cattell Marte, who is also just the nicest person that you can ever meet. Um, but to say something like that about Cattell, and it's a disgrace, what this fan did, and he was, rightfully banned from all, Major League Baseball stadiums. So I thought that was really good job by Major League Baseball. The Chicago White Sox, gave him a little tribute in his first at bat, today. So I this was something that was talked about a lot yesterday. So I thought we'd spend a minute or two on it, or at least me. If you guys have anything you want to add on to it, please go ahead. Um, but it hurt. It hurt a lot. If you've lost somebody close to you, and you don't want, especially, you don't want anybody talking bad about them or disrespecting them. So for that fan to go out and say that and do something like that is just, it's disgraceful. It's disgusting, and I'm glad that he was banned from all of the Major League Baseball stadiums, in baseball. And so I think he got what he deserved. And again, I was stunned. I was stunned and heartbroken to see something like that.
I think professional sports need to find a more unique way to bash people who do such things. It's kind of a touchy or tricky situation because you don't want to give someone a platform to where now they can benefit off of it. But I feel like there has to be a different way of putting these people's plastering these people's face so that they can be treated as such. Like they need to feel that pain. Like you said, it doesn't make any sense to me in any league. People say that Boston is an awfully racist place to play sports. I myself haven't heard some of the things that I've heard other people say they've heard. It's weird to me that people then pay money, and some's like paying to go to a restaurant to then throw the food on the floor and walk out. Like I just don't understand. But again, like you said, people are weird, people are bad, people are ignorant, and I just don't see any other way besides you making, like when on Twitter when someone says something about some girl and they want to make an example out of this person, they like the Twitter prosecutors or whatever you want to go, they find a way to get this person's address, where they work at, their kids' school, and now people will go to these places and tell their boss that you did this is how you acted. Like again, maybe the organization can't do it. Maybe they got to pay somebody else to do it behind the scenes. But I feel like there's got to be a way to oust these people so that they feel more, I don't know, useless. Like because I feel like that's what happens is they get on these platforms and they feel like job accomplished because I made this person cry. Well, no, now we're gonna make you feel like like crap because your kids won't be able to watch a game when they're 30.
Yeah, no, I just think this is no place for that in sports, man. You know what I'm saying? Everyone in sports has their own battles and things they go through. So I don't think there's no place for that. And that fan, he got what's coming from. We don't got God got something from. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you do.
The greater
Yeah, you
power
do.
has something for that individual. But to the second baseman, hey man, just uses us as fuel to get us out of 500 and go win us a World Series, man. That's
Hey,
all I really gotta
Cattell,
say.
man, he Cattell, one of the best players of baseball, man.
Yes,
And
sir.
also he's not one of these cocky, arrogant guys. Like he's a down to earth dude, man. So that sucks. That sucks too.
I want to add on, and I want to say I'm all for fans interacting with athletes, good or bad. But just keep it strictly to sports when you're trying to talk to them or trying to get into their heads. When you go into their personal life, that's way over the line. Because that is their personal life. That's a family matter, and that's their life. When you talk about like sports and all that, you can keep it the way it is. But yeah, for that reason, he should definitely get a punishment as big as that, because that right there is that's going over the line.
Yeah, he got in terms of the punishment from the Major League Baseball. He uh he got what he deserved. He got what he deserved for sure. And so
I want to add that onto what Kyson said. Maybe this is an unnecessary force that galvanizes your team to 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 go get over certain humps or hurdles that they once weren't even thinking about. Sometimes situations like this bring a group of guys together to play a little bit better.
Yeah, Jamal, didn't we smoke the White Sox?
well, the past 2 days we lost today, so that was annoying.
Oh, we lost today. Oh,
Yeah, so that was infuriating. White Sox are one of the worst teams in baseball. So
we lose to
um
anybody, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
we won the series, but again we didn't sweep. So that was again infuriating. But I did want to spend a few minutes on that because that was a hot topic of discussion um yesterday. So I thought we would spend a few minutes on that. But I did see some other interesting things. Now, Minnesota did end up taking Thomas Sarber, the center. So they went out and got another big. Um, but I'm sorry,
that was a
Portland.
I was gonna say that was
that was
Thunder,
a
right?
thunder. That was a
Huh?
thunder.
The
Oh, who
Thunder.
did I say?
Yeah, OKC.
Who did I say? Did I say
So
somebody else?
Minnesota.
The
Minnesota.
Timberwolves.
Yeah, the Thunder. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Thunder went out and got a big. So Thomas Sarber. So yeah, they went out and got some more size to add on to that team, and I believe they have another first round pick, which is insane. But I did see some other interesting lists. So I did see this list on the Hoop Central on Twitter, on X, or whatever you want to call it, of starting point guards. So there are a few guys on this list that you also wouldn't imagine being point guards, but I thought we'd talk about it. So the S tier list of point guards: Cade Cunningham, Stephen Curry, Jalen Brunson, SGA.
You said the S
The
tier?
S tier,
Like
So
top tier, like higher than
like the
A,
top tier, the highest tier point guards.
oh,
like
a point
superstar.
guard?
Yeah,
Okay.
like the
So name
superstar.
them again. You said Steph, Cade.
Jalen Brunson and SGA.
No Luca,
And I was like, where's Luca?
that's crazy.
Man, I'm done. I'm done with these lists, man.
That's actually insane.
Now the A tier, Trey Young, Tyrese Halliburton, Luka Doncic, and Devin Booker.
No Kyrie on that list.
Devin Booker at the one. Yeah, no Kyrie. Here's where I get. I guess it's fun that put the list out, but I need a little substance. Like what did Jalen Brunson do to be put in tier S, and what did Luca do to be put in tier A?
In terms of like drop down to tier
Yeah,
A,
yeah.
and you don't think Jalen Brunson should be in the S tier of point guards?
Again, when the
Tyrese belongs
team
there.
when the team has a better plus minus when you're on the bench, I can't. I'm sorry. Like,
But
Hey.
but Tone, they don't get to where they got to without Jalen Brunson.
Hey, Jamal.
yeah, I understand that. Neither did the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, no. Again, I believe Luka should also be in the S tier, but I also think that Jalen Brunson should be in the S tier. But sorry, guys.
But still no Kyrie. That's crazy.
No, I was just saying. Portland just selected this Yang Hansen kid
That's
China.
what.
Yep.
from
Yo,
China.
There you go, your boy.
that kid is going to be special.
He got a little,
That's
he got a
another
little sauce
big.
to his game. He got a
That's
little
another
sauce to his
big.
game.
You took Zach Edey in the first round last year. Now you're taking Yang Hansen this
Yeah,
year.
but he's
Now
going
he
to
goes to
Portland.
Portland.
He's going to Portland.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot that was a trade. He's going to
That's a
Portland.
great backup. For
Even then, that's another big. You took
They
a
got
big
Kling-
number 4 overall last year.
Klingen
Donovan Clingan.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah, you took Donovan Clingan last year. I don't
He
know.
was cool.
So now they have 3 centers.
They have 3. Like I don't know. Maybe they're overcompensating for something, but
They're moving off of one of them. And I will say this is that Yang is not known for defense, and so he's a gamble. Like he's probably a gamble because they saying he's got the skill set to be Jokic like,
I was about to say, yeah,
but
that's what I was saying.
he lacks the defense, and so
He's basically like a project player.
and you know what?
Chinese Jokic.
And D'Lo also mentioned Robert
Williams.
Williams is also there. And so
I
what do they
forgot
do with
he
him?
was even in the league.
but
Man.
Yeah,
Or
they got to
centers.
get rid of him.
the Lakers are looking at Robert Williams, Bam Adebayo, and I believe Robin Lopez.
Wow, no Nick Flex. That's crazy.
I mean,
Robin Lopez is
Brooke
crazy.
Lopez, you mean? Brooke?
Lopez.
Brooke. I'm excited to see what D'Lo says. You keep
Robert
you keep bringing it
Williams.
up.
Time Lord right there.
That'd be
I know.
interesting.
He need to come back to Boston, man. I don't know how. He need to come back.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Oh, if Bam can't come to the green team, you might as well play with the second GOAT, man. You know what I'm saying? Play with the second GOAT. Get you a ring in LA. And then next year when Jason Tatum come back, we can see the Lakers versus Celtics for LeBron's last year. He can go out on that L.
I just
D-Lo,
know
get him, D-Lo.
if
Get
Pat
him,
Riley
D-Lo.
trades
Yeah,
Bam
go ahead, get him,
for a
D-Lo.
bag of Funyuns back in return, he's leaving the Heat. He's not gonna be a Heat fan no more.
Now back to this point guard list. So I went over the A's, right? Trae Young,
Oh,
Tyrese
go over A
Halliburton,
again. Yeah.
Luke.
There's only 4 per tier, right?
No. So in the top 2 tiers, it's only 4.
Oh, okay.
Tyrese
top
belong
two-
in the S, man.
Who does?
Tyrese and Luca both are S.
So who do you take out? Brunson and Cade?
Yeah, for sure.
That's for sure an A.
That's what
Hey.
doesn't make any sense to me, Mo, because it seems as though they're going off of this year and where players, how they had playoff success, yada yada yada. So then, how do you have Brunson in and not the guy who beat him?
Yeah. I mean, but again, if that was the case with Cade,
Cade is just.
Okay, too.
I need one more year from Cade. I need one more year.
All right, so that's the A list, and obviously Devin Booker was in that list or in that
Not a point guard
list
at all.
That's
I
like
don't
not even
think
a point guard.
I don't think you put him in the point guard list. Now again, he can play the point guard, but he's not a point guard.
But hold on, wait, that's my thing. Hold on, Jamal. How you have Book in here but not SGA?
He's
SGA
an
SGA's in the S tier.
He's in
SGA
the
's
S tier. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I must have misheard. My fault.
Yeah, oh no, you're good. So real quick, at S tier, Cade Cunningham, Steph Curry, Jalen Brunson, SGA.
Okay.
A tier, Trae Young, Tyrese Halliburton, Luka Doncic, Devin Booker. B tier. Here's where it's gonna get interesting. Now, actually, I didn't even mention. I don't think Trae Young should be in the A tier. I'll just put that out there. I think Trae Young is one of the most overrated basketball players in the league. So I don't think he should be in the A tier. I think there is 1 or 2 guys in this B tier list that could be replaced him. One of them being LaMelo Ball and the B tier.
No.
LaMelo Ball in the B tier.
Melo Lizard.
Kyrie Irving,
Okay, yeah,
Name-
Kyrie.
Damian Lillard.
You gotta let me know who made this list so I make sure I never follow them.
Is it off of last year or this is all time? Like, what are we doing?
This is this year, this past season.
Okay.
Well, that's for this year because Cade just
Bad
broke
season.
out this year.
All right, then that makes sense for Cade.
After Damian Lillard, James Harden. John Morant, Tyrese Maxey, Drew Holiday, and Darius Garland.
No, Darren
Drew
Fox is
Holiday.
wild.
Drew Holiday?
Wow.
Who made this list? A hockey
Fox?
player?
So
Somebody who watches way more soccer than basketball made this list.
the
But how you gonna
Hoop
have
Central
LaMelo, Harden, and Drew Holiday in the same list?
in the same
I'm
in the
sorry,
same
but
way.
I'm taking Fox over Drew Holiday any day of the week.
Oh,
Fox?
every day of the week. Yeah, oh yeah, every day of the week.
Yeah, for sure, but I don't know.
In fact, De'Aaron Fox isn't even on this list.
That is
Wow.
wild.
Because he got hurt.
He
That's what I'm
probably
saying.
played
Based off of this year, but there still has to be like criterias on why you moving people up and
Wait,
down.
you said
Doesn't
Tyrese
make any
Maxey?
sense.
Tyrese Maxey is in
Yeah,
this
he's
list.
in the
Yep,
Okay,
B.
he's
I
in
was
the
about
B.
to say.
Yeah, I think Drew Holiday shouldn't be in the B tier. He should be lower.
I haven't heard Tyler Hero's name yet.
He's a
I
shooting guard.
haven't heard.
Tyler Hero also not on this list.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, erase the list, man. Just throw it away.
The C tier. D'Angelo Russell.
What? Lord have mercy.
This might be the worst list of all time. D'Angelo Russell, Josh Giddey, Jamal Murray, Jalen Suggs, Anthony Simons, Malik Monk, and Chris Paul.
Malik Monk.
Chris Paul being in the C group is crazy.
The C list. The D. This is gonna get crazy. I'll save this name for last. So the D list: Davion Mitchell, DeJounte Murray, Emmanuel Quickly. I don't even know who this is. He plays for the Clippers. I don't even know who that is. And then here's the one that's gonna stand out a little bit. Fred VanVleet.
Come on, man. That's an A tier. That's an A tier point guard right there.
Okay. All right. Well,
At least.
say no to drugs, kids. That
Bias
No
sometimes.
Keon Ellis? That's crazy. That's
Where's
crazy.
Tyus Jones at though?
Where's Keon Ellis?
Hold on.
Tyus
What's
Jones. Oh, put Tyus Jones in the F
pause?
line.
What was
Put
y'all
him.
point guard? What was that little short point guard name for the Celtics?
Tyus Jones.
No, the other one. The one that took his spot.
Colin Gillespie.
Gillespie, where he at?
Again, in the F- tier. That's where he is.
Oh.
That's where all the point guards are for the Phoenix Suns. That's where all of them are. In the F- tier.
If we're gonna put Devin Booker in there, how we not gonna have Derek White?
Oh yeah, he's F tier.
Was he y'all point?
He plays point when Drew Holiday was out.
Drew
And
Holiday's
then-
a B tier point guard according to this list.
Speaking of the F tier, they have Mike Conley and Isaiah Collier.
That's just disrespectful, bro.
There's no Colin Sexton in this list at all?
Well, they said Isaiah Collier is the point guard for and no, D'Lo, it's not Chris Dunn. I know what Chris Dunn looks like. It's not Chris Dunn. Yeah, so that was pretty pathetic of a list.
Where's
This is actually really trash.
Where's Toronto's point guard?
Emmanuel Quickly.
Jamal Shee was they point guard.
Oh yeah. He was a rookie. He was a rookie. He didn't get, he was Emmanuel Quickly was their guy at the point guard at the point. So and he was put in the D list. So I thought I'd bring that up to your attention.
This is all starting still, like starters?
Yeah, way to upset everyone. Whoever made that list, way to upset everyone.
The Hoop Central on Twitter. So
Shame on them.
This was also interesting. Colin Cowherd on the Herd ranked the last 7 NBA championship teams. This I think could be a very good conversation while we await. So also tonight, we are going to go until the 23rd overall pick, which is the Boston Celtics. Or no, what pick did the Celtics have? I keep forgetting. 28. Yeah, we're going to go until actually might as well go to 30 then. This in the first round. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Oh no, you know what? We'll go to Miami too because Miami is up in 2 picks. We'll see what they end up doing. So he ranked the last 7 NBA championship teams. And D'Lo, I agree. This might have been the worst list I've ever seen in my entire life. Even worse than Tone's point guard list.
Yeah, I was about to say, I take it back, Tones. Your list is not the worst list after all.
So every team since 2016, every championship team since 2016. At number 7, they have the 2019 Toronto Raptors. So I think that's I can agree with that.
That's reasonable.
This is where again we're one team in and they're already starting to get dumb. At number 6, they have the 2025 Oklahoma City Thunder. At number 6. At number 5, Colin Cowherd has the 2021 Milwaukee Bucks. Number 22. At number 4, they have the 2022 Golden State Warriors. And number 3, they have the 2023 Denver Nuggets. And number 2, they have the 2024 Boston Celtics. And at number 1, Colin Cowherd has the 2020 Los Angeles Lakers.
Although I don't like Colin, a lot of his takes.
Is he going off of like how strong the teams are, or is he going off of like the competition they face?
No. The team.
2025 Thunder is number 6 is crazy.
I would switch Celtics and the Lakers 2-1. That Lakers team was dominant.
Yeah. Oh, I think by far the Celtics should be number 1 on this list.
Yeah.
But there's a
Was the 22 Warriors that much better than the 2025 OKC Thunder?
That's what I'm saying.
I think the Thunder should be. I think that Thunder should be number 2.
I was gonna say 3.
I can't put them over the Lakers. I don't know if I can put them over the Warriors.
I'll say 3. 3.
Who's third? The Nuggets.
The Nuggets.
Was that team that good? Who they had?
I don't think it was that good. It was Jokic.
It's almost the same team that
Jokic, Jamal,
this year's
Bruce.
playoffs.
But here's the thing: is you're not taking them this year. Jamal Murray had one of the great playoff runs that year.
He did. He did.
Bruce Brown was on that team. He's
Yeah.
one of those. He's one of those defenders that those Tony Allen, those Marcus Smarts, those he's one of those.
I'm
not sure about Tony Allen.
I don't know if he was in that.
Whoa.
Tony Allen's kind of in the league of his own, but I'm just saying
Bruce Brown and KCP are like almost the same defensively.
he's
Walter
much more
Clayton
of a
got
defender than he
drafted?
is in anything else.
Oh yeah, D'Lo actually brought it up. Walter Clayton traded to the Utah.
Oh my God!
What are they doing?
Utah
The Jazz
doing,
have so many guards.
Utah doing things. They're gonna make a
Trying to
trade.
compete with Phoenix right now, Jamal.
No, I honestly think that they're trying to make so if you look at teams like Boston usually makes a trade with the Nets, the Blazers, Utah, they have these relationships with certain organizations. And so many teams have it. We used to have that same relationship with the Rockets when Kevin McHale was there. There's a lot of teams and I've heard that if Jaylen Brown were to actually get traded, it would be for what was his name? Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen, and maybe Colin Sexton. We'll give them JB and a draft pick for all 3 of those. I still don't think it's going to happen, but at the same time, if you're Utah and you're hearing and seeing those things, you go, "Oh, okay, let's rack up on pieces so we have other options." If so,
It's interesting. It's like Tony, you mentioned there are definitely built-in relationships with some of these teams, but I mean Utah. They have Isaiah Collier, they have Colin Sexton, they have Keontae George, they have a bunch of guards.
No, but this dude was nice.
Walter Clayton is a problem. He's a problem.
you don't pass on that.
No, you can't. But but they didn't pass on it. They traded up to get him.
So I'd imagine that somebody's gone. They got somebody in their ear saying, "Yo, we want this, we need this," and they go, "Oh, okay."
Ace Bailey.
They got, you know what, they did upgrade their forward depth earlier in this draft in Ace Bailey. It's interesting to see what they're doing, man. It's but
How many guards do they have?
My God.
They got a lot. They got 4 or 5 young.
Nah,
young
they ain't got
guards.
nobody
Woods,
like him though. They ain't got no
Sexton,
dog like him.
Clarkson,
No.
Collier. You got 5.
He only dropped this low because he's 6'2", 6'1".
He's a problem, man. He was
All of
fantastic.
their guards are like that. All of them are 6'3" and below.
There you go,
Yeah,
Jamal.
they got
Look what Lo
George.
said. Sexton might get traded.
Yeah. Um,
That boy Rich Paul working. I see
yeah,
you.
he loves that Sexton's getting traded, and yeah, boy, Rich Paul. You talking about? Rich. I think let's put an emphasis on Rich.
Rich.
He got 5 phones buzzing right now. Bzz, bzz, bzz.
Yeah, man.
Do you think the Suns are calling Utah for calling Sexton right now?
I would love that. I would
Nah,
love
if
that.
the Suns are smart, they're not making the call. They waiting for that call to come their way.
Yeah, because they need to get off of, or the Utah Jazz need to get off one of them guards. I'll take Isaiah Collier. I'll take Colin Sexton.
I like Keontae George.
Keontae George. But yeah, if he's not untouchable in Utah, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, because he's got incredible speed and playmaking abilities, and
He's pretty big for a guard too. Is he like 6'4", 6'5"?
nah, he's only 6'3", but he's really
I
athletic.
thought he was like around 6'4".
He's got that Mitchell type of build to where he looks like he's built. Looks like he's bigger than he really is. Pause.
All right. Another thing I saw that would be interesting. Bleacher Report came out with a list of their top 50 NBA playoff performers of all time. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire list. I'm just going to come up with some highlights
No, you're right.
of the list. Huh?
He's 6'4".
Kevin's right. He is 6'4".
At number 48, they have Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, end it.
What?
Stop it now.
At number 48, they have Russell Westbrook.
What's the list again?
The top 50 playoff performers of all time. At number 48,
How do you even?
let me see
Like,
if I
what are
can-
we even going off of?
Or just playoff success in general.
It has to be Like what?
Damn, they got six guards under 6'4". The Utah
yeah.
Jazz, and they just added the 7th.
My
Let me
thing
see if I
is,
can
all
do
right,
that.
what if I average 30 my playoff career, but I've never made it to the conference finals?
Yeah, it's
You can't be no top 50 performer.
okay. So I'm gonna go through some of these lists or some of these guys on this list. I think so. At 48 they have Russell Westbrook. 50 they have Bill Walton. Okay. Let's see. 48 Russell Westbrook.
How the hell is Bill Walton 50?
Number 46. Oh, this is gonna get good, isn't it? Number 46, they got your boy, Tone. They got AI
At 46?
at 46.
He literally, his record was just broken for having the most amount of points in game one.
This is Bleacher Report, right?
Bleacher Report.
Yo,
Number
this is
46.
what I be saying when some of these people they need to be fired. They need to be fired. How the hell is Allen Iverson 46?
Right in front of him, they got Reggie Miller at number 45.
In front of him.
Reggie Miller.
Make that part make sense. Somebody who literally came in the league after him and accomplished more in the playoffs. And this is sad.
They both in the 40s though.
This might be the best part. Number 44, Jason Tatum.
I'm more understanding of that because again, they're still playing, and so this goes on with the conversation that we had like the other day. Is you kind of don't want to give them too much credit before the end of their career because essentially then you just got to take the credit away if they don't make the playoffs or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean that's kind of ridiculous. He's accomplished more in his 7-8 years than some Hall of Famers. But yeah.
I'm sorry. I just saw the guy next on this list right in front of Jason Tatum. Luka Doncic.
Yeah, same reason.
Like what?
But how the heck is he above? How is he ahead of Jason Tatum? Again, like Jason Tatum won
We lost him in the
championship.
finals.
Yeah, like come on. This is when the math don't math.
Oh man, number 42, Bob Pettit. 41, Chauncey Billups. 40, Manu Ginobili. 39, Elgin Baylor. 38, Kevin McHale. Okay, let me skip to some of the guys that like we could actually have a conversation.
If Melo is on there for hire, I actually want to know where he's at.
I'm trying to figure out how Ginobili's so low. This man has what? 4 chips?
Is it
Number
5?
35.
5 chips.
Number
4 or 5? I'm not
35,
sure.
they have Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, the list got to be erased.
I know,
I'm
I know,
confused.
D'Lo. I know D'Lo's like, hell yeah, that's a good list.
And number
How though?
35, they
Like,
got Jimmy Butler.
how does that make any sense? Someone with no rings having more success than people with more.
Wow. Hold on, pause. Wait. So Tone, you sent something in a group chat. You said that Miami was waiting for some dude, Nolan, right?
Nolan Traore.
He got drafted by Brooklyn. And Miami had got the next pick. Ooh,
It'll be
Playing
interesting to
dirt,
see what
that's
playing
happens.
gotta
dry
hurt.
ball right there.
That's gotta
Man.
hurt.
Yeah, Nolan Traore at number 19 goes to Brooklyn. But yeah, so let's see. They got number 35, Jimmy Butler. Okay. Let me go through number 34, Chris Paul.
The ringless card.
Number 34, they got Chris Paul. 33, Draymond Green. So 32, Scottie Pippen.
Should be a bit higher.
Freezer doors. Oh, what do people really be thinking when they come up with these type of lists? Man
Let's
has
see.
6 of them.
Should be top
Yeah,
10.
that's what I feel like doing
He should be
too,
top 10.
Tyson.
I feel like just bouncing, man. This is crazy. I need to hear the rest of the list though. And
He should actually be top 10. That's crazy.
if LJ ain't won, this is a conspiracy.
Number 31, Rick Barry. Let's see. 29, Dr. J. 28, they got my boy Chuck Charles Barkley at number 28.
How is the list backwards?
Oh my.
How are they rating these playoff success by like? How are they doing it?
Number 27, Anthony Davis.
It's too high.
Huh?
How is he? How is? It's weird, man. It's weird.
26, Big O. Let's see.
How many
Oh,
rings
they
does
got
Oscar have? 2, 3?
Huh?
How many rings does Oscar have? 3?
One
Only has 1.
in 1971. Let me see. Oh, at 24, they got your boy John Havlicek. So
I ain't gonna lie though.
John Havlicek, because I just recently looked this up, was a bucket in the playoffs. A bucket. Like, there's not a lot of Celtics who average above 25. John Havlicek did it many years.
Was he a better defender or was he a better scorer?
Bucket. He
well,
was
in
a
the
bucket.
so in the postseason, he averaged 22, 7, and 5. So yeah, he was pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. At number 23, they got KG, Kevin Garnett. So that is interesting. 22, David Robinson. Let's see. Oh, see, D'Lo's gonna like this one. Number 20, they have Dwayne Wade. I think that's kind of right.
Tim Duncan has to be top 10 on this list. There's no way.
I think that's a good spot for Dwayne Wade.
No, that is. I'm not playing about that spot.
20.
Number 20.
I mean, when you think
3
about like he
rings.
had that 3-4 year run, And like he had that, couple year run before Braun, then they had that 3-4 year run. Then it really wasn't the same. I don't know. It's tough. I'm interested. I would be interested to see the substance behind how they align this list.
As you can see, David Largo obviously agrees with that pick. Or not pick, but that spot for Dwayne Wade. Number 19, they got Isaiah Thomas. The OG Isaiah Thomas, not
He's top 5 point guard, not number 6.
Number 18. Number 18, they got Giannis.
Over Scotty is wild.
I don't think so.
No. Wow.
I don't think so.
What? How you gonna say you don't think so? This man Scotty been to the destination 6 times and won all 6.
What are we always talking about? It's a team sport. Giannis had a 50-point triple-double in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. One of the best NBA Finals performances I have ever seen.
And he only did that one time. He's only made it there one time.
He's only had the opportunity to make it there one time. Damian Lillard's been hurt the past 2 years.
Scotty's been there 6 times.
Was he the biggest reason why he was there? Why they were there?
If not he was.
Scotty wasn't there. MJ would have 6 rings.
Mike didn't make it past this first round until Scotty got there.
It was undoubtedly not even close. The biggest reason the Bucks made it to the championship was because of Giannis.
One time.
And they haven't been back ever since.
They haven't because they haven't had the team to make it back. They haven't had the team to make it back.
I don't care. Allen Iverson, who made it to the finals.
So when Scotty was the guy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When Scotty was the guy, when Michael Jordan went to go play baseball.
They won 60 games.
And the regular season. This is a playoff list. What do you do in the playoffs?
Scotty's not a scorer like that, though.
Whoa. I said Giannis is a better playoff performer than Scottie Pippen.
So now we're only talking scoring?
You didn't answer the question. I said, what did he do?
He didn't make it to the finals, but he played, and he played great.
Oh. Okay.
He did what Giannis has been doing the past 3 seasons. That's exactly
what you said. But you said, now again, which may be true, I guess what is true. Now, Michael Jordan didn't make it past, the first round until he got Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
So what did Scotty do without Jordan?
He made it to the playoffs.
And did what?
He did what Mike was doing before Scotty got there.
Okay.
He did what Giannis
Who had the better team?
Who
had the better team at that time? Scottie Pippen when he was losing in the first round, or Michael Jordan before he got Scotty?
I don't. It's hard to tell.
There you go. There's my answer. 18, they had Giannis.
Giannis shouldn't deserve accomplishments that somebody who's done it 6 times. That doesn't even make any sense. Again.
So is Patrick McCaw a better playoff performer than Scottie Pippen because he's been there 5 times?
Patrick McCaw average a double-double, 2 steals, and guard the best player.
But he's made it there 4 times. That was your argument.
Did he guard the best player on the opposing team?
He wasn't able to. He was sitting on the bench the whole time.
Yeah.
Again, obviously that's the reason. But again, you are saying the sole reason why Scottie Pippen is a better playoff performer than Giannis is because he went 6 times.
A Hall of Famer to a bench player. What are you doing?
I have more actual.
Who's better all time right now, Scottie Pippen or Giannis?
If Giannis were to retire today, that's tough.
That's the question.
Scotty got a lot of accomplishments.
You are naming the things that I already know. What I do want to know is who is better all time right now, Scottie Pippen or Giannis?
I would probably say Giannis. But if we're going to strictly playoff numbers and productivity, I cannot deny what I've seen Scottie Pippen do and what I have yet to see Giannis do, because he has not done significant things when he doesn't have certain pieces around him.
Who are you talking about, Giannis or Scotty?
Giannis.
Okay, so it's almost like Scotty, when he didn't have the right pieces around him, he didn't do it. He wasn't
He
successful.
made it to the playoffs.
No. This list is for the playoff stats. I don't care what you did in the regular season. That's not a
That's what
conversation.
I'm saying. So he made it to the playoffs. He actually got a chance to perform in the playoffs. When Michael Jordan retired, he won enough games to still perform in the playoffs.
But again, this list is playoff performers. So what do you do when you get to the playoffs?
That's what I'm saying. Scotty's 6 for 6. Every time that Scotty made it to the championship, he is 6 for 6. The same way Michael's 6 for 6. Pippen is 6 for 6. So how the hell are we just discrediting Pippen? Like,
I'm not
Pippen
discrediting.
was the second best player on that team.
I'm not discrediting Pippen.
So when you look at Shaq and Kobe, think of Jordan and Pippen. That's essentially what we should do.
So you're actually saying Giannis's impact on that one ring that he had has more value than Pippen's 6 rings,
That's
Jamal?
what I was trying to get.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. Giannis is absolutely more valuable than Scottie Pippen was.
It's horrible media, man.
What? Giannis, Scottie Pippen was more valuable to that team than Giannis was to the finals team in 2021.
We just told you that Michael Jeffrey Jordan had yet got out of the first round, meaning the greatest player in the history of the game couldn't beat certain teams without that man.
Now, if MJ had that one ring before Pippen came, then I'm like, okay, MJ did it before without Pippen.
To get the ring, he couldn't get out of the second round. He hadn't even made a conference championship without Scotty.
So again, I'm going to ask: Scottie Pippen was more valuable than Giannis was to the Bucks?
6 times he proved.
Answer the question.
Yes, I'm telling. I'm not even
of all time, of all the finals combined. Yes, I'm taking Pippen over Giannis.
This is insane. The Bucks don't even get out of. They don't even make the playoffs, let alone make it to the finals and win the finals.
Though. That's the conversation. Is who has had more success in the playoffs?
That's
right?
not the conversation. That's not the conversation. It's playoff performers. That's there's not about success.
So
who has performed better in the playoffs?
If you don't make it there to perform, how are you such a great performer?
But again, Tony, that's not the argument. The list is top 50 playoff performers of all time. It's not about getting to the playoffs. It's about
you can make the playoffs.
It's about what do you do in the playoffs when you get there.
That's what I'm saying. So you're telling me that are you saying that a player could make the playoffs one time and have a better performance than someone who's been there 17 times?
First of all, Giannis has been to the playoffs more than one time.
I understand that. Scottie Pippen made it to the playoffs almost every year of his career.
Okay, I'll right this we can end the conversation here and move down the list. Because this is Giannis career playoff stats: 27 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. That's his career playoff stats. And I'm even going down the line when you talk about defensively, his career playoff stats. Let me see. What is this list? What is this stat thing? Okay. 27, 12, and 5, while also averaging a steal and 1.3 blocks a game. And shooting 53% from the field. Huh?
I said, what's his record in the playoffs?
It's your performance when you. I mean, okay, so it's okay. Okay,
the record also counts as performing too. What do you mean?
I'm like, what the hell is that? I mean, what does it mean? Why the hell are certain players even on the list if winning isn't a part of your performance?
To perform in the playoffs, you have to play well in order to win.
Okay, who's the better player performer, Isaiah Thomas or Scottie Pippen?
That's a tough one. I would have to go with Scottie because he's 6 for 6 though.
Okay, so in your opinion, you said who did you say should be number one on this list? You said LJ, LeBron James.
LeBron James. He's
not 6 for 6.
He's also made the playoffs since his first or second year in the association.
Whoa.
And made it to the finals. What, 10 times, 11 times?
Whoa. But you were telling me because Scottie is 6 for 6, he should be top.
Because out of those, he made it to the finals. So that means you've had more games. You played more games in the playoffs, literally. Just that small, identifying that, which LeBron has done, and that's what I'm saying. So someone who's played more playoff games and had more success, how is that? How are you less?
Okay. Isaiah Thomas or Kawhi Leonard?
Probably Isaiah Thomas.
Why? They have the same amount of championships. Kawhi has 2 Finals MVPs.
Because Isaiah Thomas was always him. Kawhi Leonard was second fiddle to Tim Duncan.
Oh my God!
What? Am I telling you a story? That Tim Duncan was him. Kawhi Leonard wasn't even the best offensive person on that team for years.
Oh my God! Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, this
is blasphemy.
You don't like it.
The devil ain't the devil. Oh, the devil favoring you today. I don't know what's happening. The devil favoring you.
Isaiah Thomas was one of the leading scorers on that team.
The devil favoring you. I don't know.
There's a different element.
Let's see. You know what? Here we go. Dirk at number 16.
Again, this is what I'm saying. I need to have substance because certain things just don't make any sense. Now, again, if they're just saying like how Tyrese Halliburton right now has had a unique run during this playoff, if he were to win the championship, that they're just saying like 1 year that they're creating this list. You don't have to have a substantial amount of years within the playoffs to accumulate this. I don't even know. I don't understand how they're doing this.
Better playoff performer, Kevin Durant or Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah, that's a tough one too.
That's not really not, but
it is. KD has had some mishaps in the playoffs.
He was able to do it as a top guy on the team.
I mean, KD has won double, or not. He's won almost 40 more playoff games than Isaiah Thomas. He has 2 championships. He has 2 Finals MVPs. He's averaging 8 more points than Isaiah Thomas does. He's also averaging more rebounds. I don't think it's that much of a conversation. KD is 15 on this list. His record is 101 and 69. Isaiah Thomas is 71 and 40. Nikola Jokic, number 14 on this list. Again, one of the best playoff runs I've ever seen in my entire life. 51 and 43 in the postseason, 27. I mean,
51 and 43.
Yeah.
So
this has to be off of playoff runs then.
Yeah, it has to be. That doesn't doesn't make any sense. How can you be 50%
performers? I don't. What are you guys not understanding about this? It's playoff performers.
Because if I've played 200 games and I've won 70% of them, then there's no way someone should be above me who just has substantial numbers, but they've lost 50% of the games in the playoffs. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's your performance in the playoffs. Yes, you may lose in the playoffs, but how do you play?
So then why is Allen Iverson 40? Again, the list does not make any sense.
There's very few guys. There's
someone who's had the most 40 points or 50-point games, and at 40.
What?
So there's a list of 50-point scorers in the playoffs. Allen Iverson is top 5 for the most 50-point games in the playoffs. It's like Donovan Mitchell, Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson. These are the guys at the most 50 points in the playoffs, which I would think is a performance, right? It's a significant performance because there's not a lot of guys who score 50 points in the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you have guys who have yet to have done so above them?
And when you put it all together, I mean, it's different. Is it not?
I don't know. I guess.
I mean, when you put it all together, is it not different? Is the conversation not different? I mean, yes, you have 50-point, you have 50-point performances, but again, when you look at these other guys, Giannis only made it to the finals one time, but he performed very well in those finals, and he's been to the Eastern Conference Finals multiple times. and he's been to these other, like, how many times did AI make it to the conference finals?
Twice.
And Giannis has been there 3 times. And I think Giannis.
Jason Tatum has been there 5 times and won a championship.
He did win a championship, and he played very well. I think Jason. I didn't say any. Why are you laughing? I didn't say anything about Jason. I think Jason Tatum.
I'm just laughing at the list. The list to me does not make sense. In order for me to actually say, "Oh, this person belongs here and this belongs," I have to have championships matter to this part, points matter to this point, who you played matters to this point. And as I'm going and we're seeing the certain names, I'm like, well, how can he be above him? And then him, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I think this list is also awful, but yeah, when it comes to some players like Scottie Pippen, is always like he was always number 2 compared to what some of these guys were. And so
how many times was Dwayne Wade number 1?
Once, but he also won a championship being number 1. Scottie Pippen didn't even get to there. I understand that. I understand he went 6 for 6. But Michael Jordan is the number 1 reason why the Bulls went 6 for 6. And so these other guys are a lot of the time the sole reason why they actually won a championship.
I will say that Phil Jackson and others have said Scottie Pippen might be the most skilled basketball player that they've ever known. And I will say again that Scottie Pippen got Michael Jordan over the hump.
So did Dwayne Wade get LeBron over the hump?
That's the story that is always being told.
Oh no. I don't story, and what I'm asking you has nothing to do with it. Do you believe Dwayne? Because do you believe Scottie Pippen got Michael Jordan over the hump?
I don't think so, because LeBron's first year they lost, and he did not do what he was supposed to do. And then the next year, LeBron averaged crazy numbers, and Wade didn't. So no, I would not say that.
But you believe Scottie Pippen got Jordan over the hump?
Because Michael Jordan was there first, and when Scottie joined, he won.
Yeah, LeBron.
You see the difference?
LeBron got to the finals and he lost. But Dwayne, when he went and joined forces with Dwayne Wade, they won back-to-back championships.
They lost first
because LeBron was awful,
and Dwayne Wade was just as bad. Because if you look at LeBron's numbers and you combine D Wade and Bosch's numbers, LeBron damn near averaged them combined.
In 2011.
I shared that with the group.
In the 2011 finals.
I shared it with the group.
Okay, hold on. That's fine. We ain't gotta go back and look. I'll look it up right now. Let's see. Yeah, Dwayne Wade averaged 26, 7 and 5, and a steal and a half and a block and a half. So, and LeBron averaged 17, 7 and 7. So
in the finals or in the playoffs?
In the finals.
Oh yeah, in the finals. I'm talking about in the playoffs. That's this is a playoff run, right? Or is this just the finals run?
Just the finals. Just the finals.
But this isn't just the finals conversation. It's the playoffs performance, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
How you gonna do that for me? That's exactly the question you're asking.
Yeah, but I was talking. Okay. Like I said.
Just go on the list. Go on the list.
When you
yeah, let's just go on with the list.
It doesn't. Okay. 10 Kobe. At 10 they have Kobe. At 9 they have Steph. At 8 they have Bill Russell. 7 Tim Duncan. 6 Kareem. 5 Larry Bird. 4 Magic Johnson. 3 Shaq. 2 LeBron. And number 1 they have Michael Jordan.
So Steph is ahead of Kobe?
Dog, Shaq is ahead of Kobe. I'm so I can't understand the list, dog. Like, what? Is someone just trolling?
Bleacher, who's in charge of Bleacher Report? Who in Bleacher Report actually posted this? Or is this just a
Kobe
group thing?
literally won 2 without Shaq, dog. Shaq won another one with Dwight and was half of himself. Dog. I mean, with D Wade, like I'm lost, dog.
Yeah, that one's kind of crazy. Having Kobe that low is
Having Bill Russell, who won 11.
Kobe has to be like around 5, 6, 7 era with Tim Duncan. Like, there's no way he's at the 10.
How is Bill Russell? What do they have him at 8?
they have him at 8. Although
11 rings.
compared to some of these other guys on the list, I mean, it's hard
Bill's
to dispute that.
top 5.
Dog, 11. This is why people who don't study the game treat certain players the way they do. Dog, he won 11 against Wilt when the generation before me said Wilt was the best player to ever play the game. He was literally the Giannis of that. He was fast as lightning, 7'1", 7'2", towering over players such as Bill Russell. And the only person who could clamp him up was Bill Russell.
A 6'9" center.
But you believe LeBron should be number 1 on this list?
Yeah, simply because he's played 20-something years and made the playoffs, 15, 16 of them, and has
made the finals 10 times.
Yeah, and he's won 4. I mean, yeah, he led the like he didn't even win in certain years, but led the entire playoffs in every statistical.
There was also 2 times in his career, what was it? I think 2007, 2008, where he took a really bad team to the finals, and again in 2018, where he took a really bad team to the finals as well.
And then when you look at, like, I love MJ, but MJ didn't beat any top 15 players. LeBron did.
In the finals?
Yeah.
In the finals, yeah, I'll give you that. He had little to no competition in the East. The 2 teams that really gave him competition were the Big 3 Celtics, and the Pistons in 04.
Yeah, 2 championship caliber teams. Go look at who MJ was.
Other than that,
go look at who MJ was beating up on, and you're gonna read the same book, because you know who MJ was losing to until Pippen got there. Those 2 teams you just named, the Pistons and the Celtics.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's why he needed Rodman to join him.
But those Pistons and Celtics had those 2 guys that ran those teams were also high on this list. Larry Bird was number 5, Isaiah Thomas was number 18.
Larry Bird was almost 40 years old when Mike beat him, though.
Okay, but what about why? Again, the guys that LeBron was playing in the East. I didn't see DeMar DeRozan on this list. I didn't see Paul George on this list. I didn't see Dwight Howard on this list. I didn't see who else?
You know why? You do know why they're not on the list, though, right?
Why?
Because they ran into LeBron.
Derrick
Rose is the youngest MVP, one of the most electrifying human beings we've ever seen with a basketball. And he was bound to win the championship that year if he didn't run into LeBron James.
Who was bound to win a championship that year?
Derrick Rose.
He was beating Kobe? Was he going to beat Kobe?
Why not? He was the youngest MVP.
Do you think he would have beaten Kobe?
Who's going to guard him?
Can you answer the question, please? Do you think he would have beaten Kobe in the championship?
I just said, why not? You got to. That means I don't think anything other than it's a possibility. I don't know. The same way I think
maybe.
Oh, yes, but maybe is cool. Do you think he would have beaten Kobe?
It's hard for me to just say yes.
I think it's a 50-50.
Why not? I don't have any evidence to prove me wrong or prove the situation wrong. I don't know. I would have to see it play out. I'm not just gonna say yes and I don't know. But I think that the only reason why Derrick Rose did not make the finals and the only reasons why DeMar DeRozan and others in the East didn't is strictly because of LeBron James. You know why Michael Jordan didn't make the finals for so many years? It was strictly because of Isaiah Thomas.
A lot of contradiction going on around here.
Yeah.
A
Same
lot of
facts, just
contradiction.
different shoe. Like same.
No, it's not. No, again, you can bring up the facts, but again, you were just dead set on something you just said. But now, I don't have the facts.
I wasn't dead set. I just saying that the reason why Derrick Rose didn't make the finals is because of LeBron James. The reason why all of these guys are not on the list, Paul George, it's primarily because of LeBron James.
That's okay. Again,
where was Karl Malone on this list? I didn't hear Karl Malone's name.
Karl Malone was high. I think he was 37
John
or something
Stockton.
like that.
Was there John Stockton?
I didn't see John Stockton. Actually, John Stockton.
Hakeem Olajuwon on there too?
Yeah, Hakeem was he was top 10. I said his name.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. He was number 13. He was number 13. And then
Tim Duncan was where? Top 10?
Oh, okay. Well, hold on, fellas. I gotta go. You go. I'm trying to go back and look for these other guys. John Stockton. Okay, so Karl Malone was 37. John Stockton was 36.
No Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman was not on this list.
List is trippy, dog. It's like
how's Draymond on this list, but no Dennis Rodman?
Yeah, it's like they just picking and choosing.
Aren't they both like the same like role player like that?
Dennis Rodman did way more.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. And he's on, and Draymond's on the list, but he's not on the list.
Hold on, Dennis Rodman did way more. I mean, Draymond was kind of like the heart of that Golden State team.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm gonna need y'all to do. Y'all gotta start going back and watching.
But the Bulls won 3 without him.
Yeah.
The Warriors haven't won any championships without Draymond Green. And they lost one, and again, since we're throwing maybes out there, maybe the Warriors win that game if they win that series in 2016 if he doesn't get suspended.
Yeah.
What about 2019 then? They lost
2019, he wasn't good. But again, the championships that they have won, they have not won without Draymond Green.
I think Dennis Rodman got 5?
I don't know how many championships Dennis Rodman has.
I think he got 2 with the Pistons.
It's gonna be 4 or 5.
Didn't he win? No, he didn't win one with Kobe, right?
No.
Yes, I think
Dennis Rodman has. Why is this not loading? He has.
I would just say
5.
him.
Yep, he has 5.
Him not being on the list is kind of not good.
Let's see what else. Yeah, I don't know. I am kind of throwing back how. So you guys think Scottie Pippen should be ahead of Giannis in this list?
They should. Yeah, it's hard for me to think of anything different. They definitely should be a lot closer. If Pippen.
Those message on the screen.
I'm gonna put.
He said something about Clay.
Oh yeah, is Clay on the list?
Yeah, there's no reason Clay should be on this list. No, Clay's not on this list.
He should not be on the list.
No, we should not be on the list.
But Draymond is.
No.
Yeah, that not.
Yeah.
Expose your bias, brother. Do it.
No. Draymond Green absolutely had more of an impact.
So you're telling me they win those 4 rings without Clay?
Yep. If you substitute Clay for like I said, I've said it multiple times. Drew Holiday, you just put another 3-and-D guy in there, they still win. You don't win without Draymond. Draymond Green is one of the best defenders of all time. You don't win. You don't win without Draymond, but you absolutely can win without Clay.
I guess the Splash Brothers, it wasn't a thing then, huh?
It could be a thing all they want to. It could be a thing all you want to.
The 2015 ring.
Realize how clutch Clay is.
To be able to shoot threes at the high consistent rate at 40% his whole career, and earlier in his career to play defense on the best guard too.
I couldn't tell. What was Kyrie Irving? What's Kyrie Irving doing?
Kyrie Irving is one of the most prolific, if not the most
skilled player of all time.
If Clay is the defender you guys are making him out to be.
I watched Kyrie cook Kawhi Leonard.
Oh yeah.
Giannis.
Oh yeah.
Name it. Matter of fact, name me a player Kyrie ain't cooked yet.
Oh, I can't do that.
Oh, okay then.
But I'm also saying that again, Clay, not that amazing of a defender. Not that amazing of a defender.
He's not Tony Allen. I will say Andre Iguodala was bigger and stronger. But Clay was guarding
the better defender.
Clay was guarding, if not the second, the third best player on any team that they ever.
Ooh, Delly?
What?
Ooh, Delly? J.R. Smith?
J.R. Smith was.
I mean, he had to when Kyrie got hurt in 2015. He had to guard someone.
Clay should not be on this list as he's not. There's no reason for him to be on this list. So they don't win without game. They don't win without Game 6 Clay. Where was Game 6 Clay in 2019? Yeah, I understand he got hurt. That was in the fourth quarter. Before then, he wasn't doing anything. Where was Game 6 Clay last year in the play-in? Where was Game 6 Clay in 2022?
Game 6 Clay last year was coming back off an injury.
What did he play?
Don't be one of those media guys, Todd. You got a responsibility. Don't be one of them.
No. This has always been I first of all, this has always been me. If you're on the court,
but I just watched Jeff T, Gilbert, and about 2 or 3 other retired NBA players say this is why there's such a divide between fans, organization, and players, because the players understand that health is wealth. They understand that certain injuries you can't play through. The organization is learning that. And that's why they're asking certain players to sit out and not play during long periods of time, because they understand that with certain injuries, you can make it worse and now mess up our money. The fans, we don't care about any of that. If we see you on the court, we want you at peak performance, at top tier level. And so there's a divide, because we're upset if you're sitting, but you're sitting to get healthy. But then if you're on the court, we want you to be at peak performance, which is it's impossible. And so you have to have common sense sometimes and understand that Halliburton was likely more valuable on the bench in the finals, not even playing, because now Indiana's out one of their top 3 players for an entire season, and they lost Game 7.
Yeah, I understand that, but that also the fans that are upset that the players are sitting are ignorant, because there's a reason why they're sitting. They're not just sitting because they feel like sitting. No, they're sitting because they get healthy. Now, when they get back on the court, now there's a reason why they were sitting. Now we're expecting you to be at your best. So, again, I don't know, me and everybody's entitled to their opinion, but if you're playing, there's no excuses. There's zero excuses, because if you were really hurt that bad, go sit down.
But that's why I said the divide is, because Halliburton, like what are you gonna do?
I give him all the credit for playing. I give him all the credit in the world for playing. That's the finals. That's Game 7. As a competitor, if you don't want to play, we have bigger problems.
But you look at the laundry list of players that did the same thing: Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard.
Yes, I give him all the credit in the world for playing. And again,
why would you give them credit when they should have sat and then been better basketball players next season?
But there's a difference in playing in game on a game on a regular Wednesday in the middle of February and playing in Game 7.
Is there though? Because now Halliburton is going to miss an entire season.
Okay, if Tyrese Halliburton, if Jason Tatum's out with the torn Achilles. If Jason Tatum, and it was said, hey, Jason Tatum has a calf strain, but he's going to go tonight against the Rockets on this random Wednesday in March. He has a calf strain, but he's going to play. Oh, he plays against the Rockets, and he tears his Achilles. Oh, why were you having Jason Tatum play? Why are you having Jason Tatum? Game 6 of the second round of the playoffs. It's an elimination game. Jason Tatum has a calf strain, but he's going to play. Would you? But he goes down. He tears his Achilles. What would you rather have? Would you rather that happen in a Game 6 elimination game or a random Wednesday night in the middle of March against the Rockets in a game that doesn't even matter?
I would rather it not happen.
But it happened.
But
So
that's
again,
that's
nobody wants anybody to get hurt. But that's
the point I'm making, though.
I
That's like
understand
the
that
whole
point.
point.
But is that not the mentality you want your stars to have?
No, again, I don't. Kendrick Perkins, the man that you call an idiot all the time, was the one who's called out Dame. He called out Tyrese and another player. If Kendrick Perkins is wise enough to see the spectrum and go, yo, two other people have done this very same thing, it should be noticeable for the organization and fans as well that when a player is hindered, the same way myself, yo, my leg hurt. I ain't coming to the gym this Wednesday. You know why? Because I got to go to work tomorrow. The same thing should be happening for the players. The players should go, yo, I got work next year. This game is going to derail me for a year. It's possible.
So what you're telling me is Tyrese Halliburton should have thought about next year instead of winning a championship today.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, he might not even be the same basketball player ever again. You understand? Like, if you go look at players who have had this injury from before injury to after injury, some of them go from star to role player.
It could be a career-defining injury.
Yeah. And, like, this isn't just some small elbow injury. This is Achilles is different. You are a different person after tearing your Achilles. Kevin Durant is defying the odds right now. And he's one of the few people who have ever done so.
I don't know. If it's me, again, I understand, but to that point, who knows if you ever get to this opportunity again? Who knows if you ever get to
if you can't play well?
But hold on. Who knows if you ever get to an NBA Finals again, especially a Game 7, a do or die, a winner go home game after winning Game 6 on your home floor after being down 3-2, and you don't know if you're ever going to get this opportunity again. I don't blame Tyrese Halliburton for playing. Me, the competitor that I am, I would have done the same thing. And so when people are saying, yeah, he shouldn't have played, if that's my star, if that was Devin Booker, and he would have played and that happened, damn, it would have sucked. But what can I be upset about? He is a star player on my team. Getting in Game 7, winner go home in the NBA Finals, and you put your body out there, that not only says something to the fans, it says something to your locker room. I'm willing to put my body on the line. I understand the risks that come along with this, but this is Game 7. This is Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Whatever happens, yeah, it happens. But I'm gonna make sure I put myself on the not only for you guys, or not only for myself and for the fans, but for my guys in the locker room. So for that, I give Tyrese Halliburton every single bit of the credit in the world. But yes, he did tear his Achilles, which absolutely sucks. I'm praying for the brother. But what he was able to do, and for him to actually go out there and put his body out there, I could not have more respect for Tyrese Halliburton. And again, I understand what happened, but he understood the risk, but he also understood the opportunity that was at stake.
Risk versus reward. But I think long term is what organizations are going to start studying, because it's not short term money anymore. And I also think this is a collective conversation of
It's pretty much an investment.
Yeah, about the ring conversation, the ring talk, like that LeBron and them are having. Like, you're talking about a decade's worth of work potentially being hindered because of one game, and a career, a legacy. Like, again, I think what Kevin Durant is doing is awesome, and I hope that Tyrese Halliburton can come back and be better than the last version that we've seen. But if he comes back and is a lesser version of himself, I think he himself will look in the mirror and question whether he should have played that game.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Okay, say you're in high school, right? You have this test that you have to take. If you get an A, you get to go to Stanford and become successful for the rest of your life. But if you fail, you still get to go to college. It's not Stanford, You still get to go to, a regular college and then have some, okay, cool job for the rest of your life. But if you get an A on this test, you get to go to Stanford. Now, do you take the test and risk getting the A or risk getting the F and not being able to go to Stanford? Or do you just not take the test at all and say, I'm going to go with the surefire. I'm going to go with the long-term safe route.
It's a little different because
I don't think so because
if I don't take the test, I'm not losing brain cells. I'm not
losing an opportunity.
Yeah, but that's the difference is Tyrese may lose more opportunities because he's now not the same player. You understand? Like, I get it. That championship. Think about this though. There are players who have won one championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just one. And where's their legacy stand?
Giannis's legacy is pretty high. Jokic's legacy is pretty high.
But it's not just because of it's not just because of that one championship. It's because of everything else that he's accomplished. First team all defensive player of the year, MVPs. It's not just the championship, is it?
It's not just the championship.
And so now if Tyrese Halliburton had won that championship, but now is a lesser version of himself and can't play the same level of basketball, do you think that he looks in the mirror and still feels accomplished? Like he's played basketball to his full potential?
If he won that championship?
Off of one championship.
Yeah.
You think so? This early in his career?
Yes.
I beg to differ. But
Number one is because yes, I understand it is Achilles. Tyrese Halliburton does not rely on his athleticism to play the game of basketball.
No, he does. His quickness, his side to side speed is different from very many. A lot of people can't get by basketball players the way Tyrese Halliburton gets by.
But he's not the quickest guy in the league.
He's not, but I'm sure that has to do with his athleticism.
Is his athleticism the strongest part of his game?
That's how he makes his quickness.
Is the athleticism the strongest part of his game?
Not jumping. Yeah, I do feel like it is. His playmaking is. We watched it in game 6 when he was hindered. He was not the same player. He couldn't get by in order to play make and create. That's a heavy part. I can bear witness because I myself didn't have the most ball handle. I had speed. That was my thing. That's how I was able to create. I would blow by somebody. The defenders have to help. Now I can pass to an open player. That's what I see Halliburton do often. Now, if he doesn't have the same level of speed next year, it's going to hinder him. He's going to play a little different. He's going to have to work on other things. And that's what I mean. And so if he has to be a shell of himself for the next 10 years of his career, I think he's going to look in the mirror and feel a certain way. He may not.
Okay. Since you don't want to answer the question, I'll answer my own question. No, I don't believe Tyrese Halliburton's athleticism is the biggest part of his game. I think his basketball IQ is the biggest part of his game because you don't need athleticism to not turn the ball over. You don't need that athleticism to do some of the things that he does. He is one of the best, if not the best, passer in basketball. Jokic is also right up there. Jokic couldn't jump over a phone book if somebody paid him $100 million. It's his basketball IQ that is the most important. That's why KD is the same thing. His athleticism is not even close to the best part of his game. It's his ability to get to his spot. Now, again, KD is defying the odds. But it also goes into the way he plays basketball. He's not Russell Westbrook, where his entire game depends on his athleticism and getting to the rim and jumping out of the gym. Tyrese Halliburton is a below the rim player. He doesn't jump high. He doesn't do all this stuff. Of course, he can dunk, but it's not jumping high. He doesn't even jump very high when he's shooting the 3 ball. It looks like he's shooting looks like he doesn't even jump. And so to that point, it's hard for me to say that again. Will it affect him in the short term? Of course it will, because at first when he comes back, it's gonna be in his head. Okay, what if I make this move? Is it gonna tear again? Is it gonna pop again? But once he gets comfortable again, it's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. Just like Jason Tatum is the same thing. The best part of his game is not his athleticism, not even close. It's his ability to score the ball. Yes, does athleticism have something to do with it? Of course it does. But he doesn't need to jump out of the gym in order for him to score the basketball. He can get to the rim.
Referring to jumping, athleticism covers other things like quickness, agility.
But being quick is cool. It's fun. Again, Jokic is not very quick. He's not
That's
very quick.
his game, though. He's 7 feet tall and plays from here, from the free throw. Tyrese Halliburton is a guard. Quickness is an effective part of his game.
Again, I don't think he needs. It's not like he's gonna go from being as quick as he is right now to having the quickness of Nikola Jokic. But of course, it's not going to be that big of a drop off. So I think he's going to adjust because of the basketball IQ he has. He's going to understand. Maybe he may be as quick as he was. He may not be as quick as he was. Regardless, he is smart enough. He has the basketball IQ in order for him to be able to adjust. And okay, maybe I'm not as quick as I once was. Now I need to do some other things to be able to get around this guy or to be able to draw that defender in. So Aaron Nesmith is open in the corner. He is just that smart. That is the best part of his game is his brain. That is the best part. And you can't tear your brain, at least not from taking a step. And so I think he'll be just fine. The way his play style, the way he plays, I think Tyrese Halliburton will be just fine. And again, now you may believe that Tyrese Halliburton is, he shouldn't have played, and that's your opinion. That is absolutely fine. But for that moment in Game 7, he said himself, the only way I'm not playing in this game is if I can't walk, and that's exactly what he did. He made a move, and now he wasn't able to walk. He popped his Achilles. Again, I can't discredit the man for wanting to play in a Game 7 NBA Finals.
No, I won't discredit him, but I'm sure that the organization is they are in turmoil right now. They're trying to figure it out.
But I mean,
top 3 seed in the East, and I don't know if they are that now.
They've always been a playoff team, though. Even when they made it to the conference finals last year, they were only a 4 or 5 seed. I mean, and obviously, again, they're not going to be able to make it there without him. I completely understand that. But for the opportunity that was at his hand, I think that was the right. Again, I think he did the right thing. Again, obviously,
it's basically the opportunity of a lifetime. In that moment, I understand like you only get one shot, basically, if that's your only shot to go to Game 7. But what Tone's just saying is, looking back, he's gonna look back into the future if he never even makes it back to the finals. He's gonna be like, the reason why I'm regretting it now is because it's affecting me. It's affecting my team in the long term. So I can see from both point of views from both of you guys.
And also, Tone, you mentioned looking in the mirror. What if, again, he sits out in Game 7, right? He's able to play for however many years of his career. What if he never makes it back to the finals? You don't think he's going to look in the mirror and say, damn, I should have played in that Game 7?
Yep. Yeah, I think that that conversation can honestly be had both ways. But I tend to look at it from an organization meets player conversation. And right now, longevity is the thing. Players want to play 15 plus years. And when I look at it from that standpoint, as somebody who loved the game, I can't play it the same way I once could. I mean, I'm well past that 10, 15 year mark, but I remember the difference. And I think that when you have a career type ending injury that early in your career, you question certain moves that you would have made. I do think had they lost, Game 7 and he decided to sit, he would be upset as well. But I know he'd be happy to play come September of next year. And the fact that he's about to sit out for an entire year, it's going to bother him. The same way it's going to bother
Not
Tatum
being there for his team.
and Kyrie. Like, I'm looking at Kyrie. He doesn't have the same amount of years that Halliburton does. And it's going to be interesting to see what type of player Kyrie comes back as. Same as Dame. But I understand the level of a Game 7. I understand what you're saying, and I think that who said it? As a matter of fact, there was somebody that said it yesterday. They said that Tyrese Halliburton didn't earn the championship. He didn't earn a spectacular performance in a Game 7, but he earned love from true hardcore NBA fans and the Indiana Pacers, fans, which I understand and I appreciate. But as an individual, I think that he's gonna look back and wonder if it was the best decision of his career.
Maybe that. I think he's gonna more look at it as if I gave it a shot. And so if he never gets back there, at least he gave it a shot. I think that's going to be. I mean, who says he can't still play 15 years?
Yeah. Again, I
But
preface
what
my
Jones is
part.
saying is probably just won't play at that high of a level before the Achilles injury.
I even now again, if this was Jalen Williams, if this was J-Dub that did this, oh, absolutely, I'd be saying yes. He is not going to be the same player he was. But I just with Tyrese Halliburton's play style, I think he can. I think he can adjust. I think he can be just as good as what he is right now, if not better.
I think play style or not, I think it's just he knows he had that injury, and he's always going to be like kind of like aware of it, and it's always going to be like in the back of his head where I could re-injure this again, and it's just going to like mess with him mentally as well.
I think at first, like I said, I think at first it will. I don't think it'll always be like that. I don't think because I mean there's NFL players that have tore their Achilles.
Come on, fellas, let's see who we get, man. Celtics on the board.
Yeah. So, but yeah, last thing,
boys back on the board.
Oh no, they traded that pick.
Oh, the 20. You're right. They traded.
Mo, you wanna update us with all the draft picks since from 20? I think we left.
Well, I will say
all of them. Any significant ones? We don't need all of them.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I don't think all of them. I think all of them is kind of crazy. But I will say Danny Wolf just got off the board at 27.
Yeah.
I like his game a lot. I'm surprised he fell this far.
He reminds me of Kessler, the same guy I was just talking about at Utah.
Walker Kessler.
Mm-hmm.
But Walker Kessler, I mean, Danny Wolf is okay defensively. Walker Kessler is a fantastic defensive player, but Danny Wolf, he can handle the ball. Like he's a ball handler. I mean, he can shoot the ball. I mean, when you look at this guy, he can move, man. He
How
can.
tall is he?
He kind of reminds me of more of a. Oh man, I mean, dare I say, Paulo? Like he
I'm gonna holler at y'all, man.
Okay, no, I'm not comparing him. I'm talking about his game.
Come on, dog. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, no. I'm not saying that he's an equal basketball player to Paulo. I'm just saying
his skill set.
Yeah, his skill set. I mean,
so would you say? Would someone say he's kind of like a Pascal then?
No, because I think he might be a better ball handler than Pascal. He's definitely
a better defender.
Oh yeah, and I mean, and he can. I mean, that's the most impressive thing I've seen about this guy is Danny Wolf.
He has the post fade. He has the post fade, like Maul said. He got the handles for that for being that tall. I like what Brooklyn is doing quietly, man.
Yeah. Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn had 4 first-round picks.
I hate to say it because you know how much I hate New York and all of their sports teams.
But they have 5. They actually had 5, Jamal.
5, yeah. But I do want to get to this. Boston Celtics at the 28th pick, they take the wing out of Spain, Hugo Gonzalez. So before we close out the show, Tony, this is of course what we were waiting for. You see who the Celtics picked. Obviously his stats aren't the most. He averaged 3 points, a rebound. But you see that they're showing on ESPN. They're saying the things that are best about him. He has a high motor. He's a passer and a rim protector. That almost sounds like Boston Celtic basketball.
Yeah, I think he's a good fit. I question whether our draft pick would even get significant time because I really feel like we like Baylor Shireman, and I also think Jordan Walsh is going to get some more minutes this season. I actually think JB is going to play hefty minutes at the 3 and 4 versus 2 and 3 without having Drew. I thought that they might have shifted him back to the 2 and went and got a larger wing player, but we're getting Simons. I'd imagine we go Simons.
Is Al starting at the 5?
Who?
Al Horford, is he starting at the 5 for y'all?
No, I'd imagine that Cornette will start at the 5 unless we go find a way to get somebody else.
He's not retiring.
What'd you say?
Al Horford is not retiring.
No, he's coming back. Big Al said he's got. I mean, I feel like he played
I
pretty
don't
well
think
for
he. How old is he? 38.
Mm-hmm.
Al Horford is he really? He's not. I thought he was older than that.
I don't think he's 40 yet.
I think he's 38, but he played pretty good for us during the playoffs. I mean, I think
he just turned 39.
okay, yeah. Again, based off of what I've seen other players do, I think Al played pretty well in the playoffs.
The crazy part about Al's defense is he's not even a shot blocker, but he's a good paint protector. That's why I like about Al's defense.
He knows how to play in space.
All right. Well, you
That
see
shot
are
is so.
what?
Al Horford's shot is like a little slower.
It is kind
It
of
works,
slow.
though.
He be making it. He shot a
Yeah,
good,
especially the big ones.
high 30% and from them corners too, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how we pan out next year, man.
Tyrese Proctor is still on the board. I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind the Suns getting him in the second
He went
round.
to Duke too, right? Or am I tripping?
Yep. He did. He was the wing.
What's
He
that
was
stand
He's like a
for?
6'5", 6'6" player, right?
Yeah. He's like a 2 or a 3.
I
Let me
can't
see.
wait for summer league now, man.
Lee McNeil. Yeah, there's still some names left on here.
It's
man.
crazy how fast the NBA offseason just works. You go from the finals in June, season starts in October.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround, man. It's what, 4 months?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround. Obviously, football is a little longer, but very, very quick turnaround for football or for the NBA. But the 29th pick is on.
Oh, there goes his mic.
Football is around the corner. I like that hat you got on, Kev. Just wanted to say that. It's a nice hat. It's a very nice hat.
We got, what is it, 2.5 months?
To race this hat.
Somebody said we got the best CB in the game. I was like, word?
Oh yeah.
Top,
No,
he's top
number
3.
2.
He's top
Yeah,
3.
he's number 2 or 3. But yeah, Pat Sertan takes that home. Takes that trophy home.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's like, hey, it's all right. I got a top 10 quarter too. It's all right.
They said Drake is going to show out this year. That's all I know.
Yeah, he's
All I know is we have a top 5 cornerback duo.
Who's the other corner? Carlton Davis.
Davis. Which Jamar Chase did say he is the toughest corner to ever guard him. The Triple Crown Runner said that. I'm gonna point out.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's words, not mine.
Kuminga went to the Heat.
Yeah, that's what D'Lo was talking about in the chat.
Okay, that's a nice one. I didn't see one too.
Well, I was gonna close the show out. Do you guys want to talk about that for a second, or?
Let me see let me go back to that trade.
Anybody want to talk about them stinky heaters?
It's a great point. Where is this trade at? I'm not.
Did I skip it?
Did that happen? I
was gonna say because I didn't think it happened either, but then it's talking about it happened in the chat. That's why I was like, it happened.
Well, I guess it was just a rumor then.
Yeah, there's a couple rumors because they're talking about Wiggins to LA or they're talking about Bam to LA. There's definitely a couple more things that could likely happen.
They're just pursuing him. They're just
it's just showing interest.
Yeah, they're just interest. So the Heat are just showing interest in him. There was no actually trade.
Yeah, the Suns finna swindle. They're gonna send Bill over there for Wiggins.
If the Suns were somehow able to do that, I would go give Brian Gregory a big fat wet kiss.
Would you get mad if D'Angelo Russell was to go to the Suns and be starting point guard there?
Yes.
They need defense, man.
Yes.
Even though D'Lo,
say it again, Tom.
D'Lo could take pressure off.
Whoa! The Suns need what? The Suns need what now?
Defense.
What am I bringing?
Alice.
What am I bringing D'Lo over? What? Because he's friends with Devin Booker? I don't give a damn if they're friends. He's not on my team. And he likes to snitch. I don't
They
like that.
need a Dyson Daniels. They need a Stephon Castle. They need one of those type 6'4".
Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis is 6'4".
I'm not.
Yo,
Keon Ellis
I
is
hope
not.
you're getting paid, bro.
Like, is he paying you? Like,
Keon, if you see this, send my man a jersey or something. Like, he needs some type of love. He's been promoting you for the past 4 or 5 days. Heavy, man.
dog, and he's saying stuff that he didn't even believe. It's called Keon Ellis a playmaker. Boy, he ain't making plays for nobody.
For himself.
Even
You play defense. Do shit the 3 balls. I'm gonna point out.
Hold on, real quick before we get off here. Keon Ellis, Kevin, he better be like a 38, 39% 3-point shooter.
I'm gonna say like 33, 34.
That's not a good 3-point. That's not a good 3-point percentage.
That's league average, is it not?
League average, I'll say that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's average. That's not good.
Damn.
That's what everybody else shoots.
No.
Okay,
that's
so
in the middle
bad if
of
you shoot
what everyone else
average.
shoots. There's a significant amount of players who shoot below, and there's a couple players who shoot above, and he shoots around the average. That's
So
how
that's
averages
okay.
go,
So
bro.
that's literally the definition of okay. That's literally
Nah. So let me ask you this, right? If the average height for a man is 6 foot tall,
Okay,
you telling me that that's okay?
yes.
Oh my god.
What was his percentage, Jamal?
Yeah, no, he can shoot that rock. Where is it? He shot 43% this past year.
Who's
My
that?
man.
Keon Ellis.
Keon
Oh
Ellis.
yeah, you bet. Yeah.
You see it? Hop on the train. Hop on the train.
Kev might have been on
He
to
might
something.
be-
He shot 43 from the clip. Oh
yeah, he got a clip, boy.
And he
From
got that
the
defense
clip.
too, Jamal.
Yeah.
Yeah, balls on board.
It wasn't. See, told. Yeah.
Hey, is he running the one? Nah, I'm not. No, get me off that train.
Hey, Booker can get 7 assists. He doesn't have to run the one, but he can be the main playmaker.
I don't want Devin Booker getting 7 assists. I want him averaging
How-
30 and 5.
But you're getting defense and 3-point shooting from Keon Ellis. That's perfect to play next to Booker.
No, I need somebody to get everybody else the ball. Who's going to get Devin Booker the ball? That's what I need to do. Who's
You're
gonna
asking
get
a
Devin
lot.
Booker?
You're asking a lot for
Better
defense and
assist.
playmaking. Not many point guards are defense and playmaking in the league that can play at that type of level.
Oh, so maybe I don't want Keon Ellis. That's. I think that's what I'm saying.
Y'all just need a better system because you don't need Keon Ellis to average 7 assists, especially if D Booker's going to have the basketball in his hand 85% of the time.
But you're
really
telling me
just
if Keon
need-
Ellis can get you around 5 assists, you don't
That's what
want
I'm
that?
saying. You only need him to average 4 or 5
No.
assists, especially with you guys having so many bigs now to pick and roll. And he's quick.
And think about Keon Ellis, he takes away the opponent's best opposing guard. Like that helps the Suns so much out.
That's cool and all. I need somebody to get Devin Booker the ball. That's what I need. Can somebody take pressure off of Devin Booker in terms of handling the ball?
I mean, they did decline the Darius Garland trade. I saw that trade a couple days back too.
I wouldn't have minded that. I would not have minded that. Man, I would have liked.
Can't wait for summer
Man,
league, man.
I guess Phoenix just wanted Jalen Green.
Yeah, no. Phoenix didn't want Jalen Green. Phoenix was forced to have Jalen Green. Is what
They had other offers, like I said,
Kevin
Darius
Durant.
Garland.
Kevin Durant had to accept the offer, though, brother.
exactly. I don't think you were. I don't think you were paying attention to the other side of the story.
No, all I
Kevin
know
Durant
is
had to want to go to
KD.
Cleveland.
KD likes to tarnish the previous team he always plays for, so it's understandable.
Yeah, you gotta treat that type of superstar right. You can't be bad mouthing them, man.
No. Yeah. Also, Keon Ellis averaged 1.5 assists. I'm good.
So how many? 1.5?
1.5.
Well, that's also because Zach LaVine and Malik Monk were the main lead playmaking guards.
How much time did he average there?
And so, why would it be any different with Devin Booker and Jalen Green?
Because now he's only behind Booker. He's starting with
Jalen
Booker.
Green. And Jalen Green.
You're telling me you're gonna start 2 of them at once? That's crazy.
I wouldn't.
That's what's wrong with the situation right now. But that's why you have to watch it pan out first. It's hard to actually understand that they're going to keep JG with the.
I already know how it's gonna look like. It's gonna look when Bradley Beal first came to Phoenix. It's not gonna work out.
It's almost like I've been saying this since the trade happened. I promise
Hey,
I have.
yo, keep my man in positive. You know what I'm saying? In this positive light, man. The Suns just made a couple good moves.
It did.
We're gonna see what happens in the
No,
next
today
couple
today
weeks.
was good. Today was good. By Sunday, I'm still iffy about that trade.
Oh damn! He said by Sunday, right back to it. That's
But
I'm
Sunday,
talking about
what?
this. I'm talking about this past Sunday.
oh yeah.
What happened? The
The trade.
hey, that's cool and all. As long as Kevin Durant is off my team, I don't care.
That's
I don't
crazy.
care.
This dude was just
wild
praising
to
KD
hear.
when he first came to Phoenix.
Yeah, I was gonna say
crazy.
that's wild to hear.
Oh,
The
of
switch
course,
up is crazy.
of course. I wasn't supposed to.
If you're
was
gonna say something good about the player, you gotta keep saying good things about them.
Yo,
not if they don't. What if? Okay, Kevin. If I say Kevin, you are a great guy. You are a great guy. Kevin is this great man, and then you go out and kick a baby in the face. Am I supposed to keep calling you a great man?
But the thing is, what
the
did KD
baby
do
might have did
to hurt the
something wrong.
Suns?
See, there you go, Tom.
You got to
There
find
you
out
go.
what the baby did first.
Yeah.
The whole time KD was
Yeah,
playing in
that's
Phoenix.
did the baby go ahead and sock you in the face, Kevin?
Hey, I seen baby swing crazy arms before.
Hey, I seen the one movie from the Wayans brothers when one of them was the baby.
You don't know the name of that movie?
I had to go back and look, but I watched the movie before.
I've never even seen the movie. I know the name.
I know what you're talking about though.
See, tells you.
Anyway, yeah. Come on, Kevin. Again, of course, I'm going to be happy when we trade. That's Kevin Durant, and we're pairing him with Devin Booker. Of course, I was happy. But again, if I'm going to keep calling Kevin, you're this great man. He does everything right. You do everything right. You are so fantastic. And then you go and punt kick little Jimmy across the field. Am I supposed to then call you a great man after that?
But the thing is, though, did KD do anything while his tenure with the Suns that would be like, I'm kicking? That's equivalent to that.
I think
He was winning games for Phoenix.
There's nothing equivalent to kicking a baby.
The only thing was him not. What happened was earlier in the season, the Suns and KD supposedly came to an agreement that they would work with him to get him to a destination that appeased both sides. But yet the new coverage that's coming out is that KD actually worked hard for the Suns to get a trade that would not assist them or help them. So like that, I guess that would be the kick in the face. Is like, bro, we had a talk and you said you was gonna help us help you, and now you did this.
Or are you also mad
at
at the fact? Are you also mad at the fact that they trade away Cam, Mikal, and 5 first-rounders for KD?
Again, at that time, now obviously hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020. At that time, I was okay with the risk because again, I have said multiple times, I think that team had peaked. I think that team did as much as they possibly could. And so I think there was a reason why they went out and made that move. Again, hindsight being 2020, would I make that move again? No.
The Clippers got that center from Penn State. That's good for them.
Yannick Conan something. I don't know how to pronounce his second last name. But yeah, I think that was the right move at the time. I think that was what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's hard. You don't pass up on Kevin Durant. I mean, you do, but you don't. And
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of like goes back to when LA traded for Paul George. In that moment, a lot of Clippers fans were happy, but now looking back, they're like, we just gave OKC the ring and multiple draft picks.
Again, at the time, was that Clippers team going to do anything with just Kawhi? As I don't think so. So again,
Probably
I think
a playoff team.
Huh?
Probably a playoff team.
Again, yeah, but a playoff team with Paul George, if they were healthy, that could have been a championship team.
But they ended up kicking themselves in the mouth.
Yeah, and it didn't work out. Sometimes you just got to take that risk, But again, I would have done the same thing. But yeah, Kevin Durant.
I think I'm a bad friend because I keep saying down a bunch of stuff about how Clippers gave up their whole future just for OKC to win a ring.
Again, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Oh, Paul George deserved a ring either way. He was the reason why Indiana actually benefited and got a couple pieces as well.
He does deserve a ring. I am fully behind that. Anyways, fellas, we are going on 3.5 hours.
Yo, shout out Kev for making it past the 3-hour mark.
And
Just the 2 hour mark in general.
and here's the best part. He hasn't complained a single time.
Not one message.
Not
You know what I'm saying?
well, he did.
Actually, he probably got a
Well, I
piece of
mean,
paper there right next to him where he's writing down.
in my defense, I didn't have work today. It was paid time off, so I mean, I'm pretty energized and rejuvenated.
He's
Oh,
refreshed.
look at that. There you go, Kev. Oh boy. Anyways,
It's when I don't work, I'm energetic. I have so much energy.
so you're saying so you're tired all the time because
No, making sneakers can't be like that hard.
The same thing I could say for. Never mind. Let's be alone.
No. Go ahead and say it. No. Go ahead and say it. No, I'm tired of you saying it in private and don't want to say it. Go ahead and say it. Go and say it.
No, this is a show of positivity. We're gonna keep it positive.
No. I'm just saying. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
Kev, you send that message in the group chat once a week. I sent it the first time, and he replies. He sends it like once a week.
At
Friends
least.
who disrespect and cuss each other out are better friends. So go ahead, get it
All
off
right,
your
Kev,
chest.
do you want to say it or do you want me to read your messages on the group chat?
I'll just go ahead and say it. You guys make fun for making sneakers. I'll go ahead and say I'll meet you guys in the fields.
That's
What
crazy.
field? What fields are you talking about? Are you
What do you
football
mean
field?
by that?
Are you
The
talking about a
white
football?
fluffy, the white fluffy material.
What is that called?
They actually made a candy with that type of material.
Huh? What is that candy called, Kev?
They have it at carnivals and fairs and stuff.
Okay. What is it
Sometimes
called?
blue, sometimes pink.
That's crazy.
Anyways, so Kevin's getting canceled. That was my biggest goal of this entire stream.
But I mean, I think everyone knows you're not really friends if you guys don't say dark humor things to each other. So it's always good. You guys become closer when you guys are breaking that barrier.
I guess we can.
I know how close y'all are. I can only imagine what y'all say in private.
We actually talk about sports a lot of times when we are on the phone with each other. Ah, there he goes. His mic is broken again.
I feel like he does it on purpose nowadays.
It probably is intentional.
He's trying to test our strength of maintaining the show while he's just staring.
Yeah, can I trust you guys? Yeah, it's me building trust. Anyways,
but this was a great show, though, man. It was dope.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah. Let me shout out. Shout out Kyson. Shout out Rocks. Shout out Roxbury. That was dope having him on. Yeah, that was a great show. Of course, shout out to you two people.
Squad.
Yeah.
I'm back from a little hiatus.
Yeah, he's some.
No, we got hey man. Again, we on a shout out spree, right? Shout out BTA. Shout out the young members. You know what I'm saying? Who've been holding it down.
That's a fun squad to coach, fellas. I will tell you guys that right now.
Yeah, they all suck though.
You as a coach saying that is crazy.
Is crazy.
Huh?
It said fresh after the shout out is crazy.
They're all terrible.
Watch us lose the Saturday's game because of
that. Don't put that in the air.
If we lose, it won't be because of me. I won't be there.
No, we lose because of you, because you're the rotation coach.
Yeah, I won't be there though.
I did a decent job.
Tones and Michael actually did a pretty decent job in the second game.
Mike had to let me know when a certain player was below the minutes restriction. He's like, "Yo, you got to put him in." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right."
Look at you guys. I'm just a great teacher. I'm just a great teacher. That win honestly was dedicated to me.
You do everything.
It was actually dedicated to Tones for his new child.
You that was sneaky. Mo, you do everything right except being a Suns fan. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Oh, okay. Well, that just hurt my feelings. So I was
once a Suns fan, so I just know the feeling. Listen, MJ was the one that broke my heart. At least I got my heart broken by the GOAT.
I got my heart broken by the most skilled player of all time.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
No, Kevin Durant. But Giannis is also up there. Maybe not skilled, but
I thought he was the one that beat you. My bad. I got it wrong.
the better playoff performer than Scottie Pippen is who broke my heart. Anyways, that's gonna close out the show. Thank you all for watching. Shout out Rocks. Shout out.
Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe.
Shout out Kyson. Shout out these two boys. Appreciate them.
And ask us questions too. Like, give us a little something for the next episode.
Yeah. Oh, I got a bunch of clips from this one. And if I honestly, it'd be irresponsible if I didn't. It's 3.5 hours we've been talking. So, anyway.
And one more thing. Shout out the host, man. Shout out Gumball.
You guys are too nice, man. You guys are too nice. This show is
He has been having a pretty rough week until the trade happened today. So,
why'd I have a rough week?
Katie left you guys.
That's a good thing.
You guys didn't get, but you guys didn't really want to get. You guys didn't get what you guys wanted back in return, though.
What I wanted was Kevin Durant gone. Is what I wanted.
Yeah,
what you wanted was more draft picks.
No, I honestly didn't care about the draft picks. I wanted guys that could come.
I don't know. You guys did lose 5 first rounders.
What? We got 5 second round picks back. That's equal.
Yeah, second round isn't the same as first round.
That's equal value.
Don't do that.
Right?
No,
That's equal
in
value.
the NFL, maybe you can get away with that.
Nobody else is gonna tell you I love you. You matter. You have value because you woke up this morning. You are a valuable person. You're valuable to me. We love you, as you can see, Tone. We love you. All of you have a great night, and as always, it's nice to be important, but it's much more important to be nice. We'll see you sometime this week. I don't know.